in the house.
Sorry here as well. We are
about to do another stream.
I just saw your last message. I'm like, I didn't write that, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I see Vin said that.
Yes,
Vin
sir.
said those rude things.
Well, who said the rude? Who said the
you.
rude things?
Anytime that you call somebody a bitch, just joking around, like.
Oh.
Although I did it to one of our band members, Jay.
What did you do?
I was like, hurry up, bitch.
What are you talking about, Ross?
When you call somebody a bitch.
Oh.
Like, just in a friendly, sort of rude way.
That's what I say.
I know, it's a term of endearment, I guess.
Well, it depends who I'm dealing with.
Right,
Let's
true.
go, APC. Human Being in the House.
All
What's up,
right.
big homies? Behemoth is my favorite Christian band. Is there a Behemoth song here?
I don't know. I
think I
see
saw
Breaking
Behemoth
Benjamin,
on
A
there.
Perfect Circle, Seether.
What's up, Lee Moore? We love you too. What's up? What's
Sevendust.
up?
No.
Let's go, Breaking Benjamin. Yeah, a lot of Breaking Benjamin fans.
Yeah.
Yo, I just found
Sevendust.
chapter 1 of that book that I wrote.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got to get back on that shit. That's a badass.
What did you
book.
do? You posted it there?
No, Patreon has some. Remember, I posted on Patreon whatever.
Yep.
Tennis Yala. Tennis
Okay.
Yala is the
What?
person's name. That's crazy.
In the book?
What's up, Sadie? Yeah, in the book that I wrote. Thrice. Yeah, guys, we got a crazy ass lineup for y'all today. Brought to you by DJ AT.
No.
Isn't it DJ Anthony?
Oh, well, that's Al. AT is Alan.
Who's the DJ?
This is Anthony Smith.
Oh, Anthony Smith.
Oh, shoot,
Okay,
I
might be.
The Lone Rider. I'm not sure if I was supposed to announce
Oh,
that.
this is the Lone Rider.
Yeah, I think I just doxed him. I'm so sorry.
Okay. I love APC, Seether, Spineshank, and Sevendust. Yeah, we got the real shit tonight, y'all. Get ready, buckle in. When are you gonna release that latest Cradle of Filth song? That's a good question.
It's not out?
Vin and DL break down the latest for the last 2 streams. I love your philosophy and biblical background and knowledge. I appreciate it, Lee Moore. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Christian G in the house. Maynard James Keenan is a genius. Obviously. Is our DJ in the actual house? Is the DJ in the actual house today?
Okay. He will be here
What do
shortly.
you mean? Oh, Smith. Okay.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
My B.
Well, mine, because I went and said his name, and I don't know if that's a problem or not.
I appreciate that, Adam. We're just trying to be ourselves. It's mind-blowing that people are reacting to it the way they are. So we appreciate it. Still something that's kind of mind-boggling to me. But here we are. Hey, Vin, I have a somewhat serious question to ask a Christian. Is it possible to be a Christian witch? Now, what I'm supposed to say is, of course not. That's a dumb question.
No, but the real question is, define Christian witch.
Well, define what witch means specifically, right? Like, if you're talking about witch in the sense of a person who masters the arts of putting together various concoctions from nature to help people, medicinally speaking, which is what a lot of the witches did, at least in the Northeast, people that called themselves witches. That's one way of looking at it. There was no way to say pharmacist in the Bible, right? Or in the ancient world. You didn't have a term like pharmacist. So people who traffic in drugs, because that's what a pharmacist is. A pharmacist is essentially a witch doctor, right? Pharmacist says, hey, we've got these specific type of concoctions that we've put together, and it's going to result in this sort of effect in the real world. Which, if you really think about, a pill and a magic potion, there really isn't much difference. You have an ailment, you put all the things together in a little stew, and you consume it, and then miraculously, you're no longer afflicted with what you were afflicted with. So if you're defining witch that way, I would say, of course, there have been many Christian witches. If you're talking about witches in the sort of Hollywood sense, where we're talking about you are tapping into intelligences or beings from other dimensions in order to affect the world here, then I would say no, biblically speaking, because that is a form of unauthorized access to power. God obviously is completely powerful, all powerful, in one sense or another, but the difference is that it's clean power. And I think one of the things that we have to think through is the difference between clean power and dirty power, because those are not the same. So it's kind of a pedantic type answer, but that's the answer that I can give based on what I've read in the Bible so far.
I think dirty and clean is very good. It's a good explanation.
Which is get stitches. What's up, Davey? Good to see you, buddy.
What's up?
Sam Mitchell in the house. You guys are awesome. Much love from Indiana. Shout out to Indiana. I had a friend that was in Indy for a while. So shout out to Indiana. So a woman was sent to me for a spell work by a friend. She explained she's a Christian witch. I'm not sure what to think. Well, Sadie, if we're talking about there are people who are trying to combine the spiritual aspect of witchery into Christianity. It's just impossible. Like I'm not gonna doubt the person's experiences, but as far as being on the team, you can't do that and be on the team. Like, I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not sorry, but you see what I'm saying?
All right.
Darren Shea in the house. What's good? Switzerland. Shout out to Switzerland. Much love to Switzerland.
Is he here yet?
By the way, where is our friend DJ the Lone Rider? We don't have a little thing for him either, huh? You know what I'm talking about? We don't have a little icon for him? Because I can't find the homie. What's up, DJ Mark? DJ Mark in the house. Jambi in the house. Yeah, Jambi, we got APC. I was like, damn, we might even get Jambi in the crew. So, yeah. All of you who were interested in the fantasy novel I was working on and then just completely stopped working on. Holy shit, 35-0. Yikes. I am going to reboot that thing and keep going. Couldn't listen to Judith by APC until I saw your review and explanation of your interpretation of anger with God. Changed my view completely with MJK's lyrics and his anger at God. Thank you. Yeah, Jeff, that was a tough one. And, you know, when you look at Maynard and obviously how important his mom was to him, that's just a tough, it's a tough thing to deal with. Tough thing to deal with for sure. The Maynard's Mom Quartet, there's a playlist on the channel somewhere called the Maynard's Mom Quartet. And that was the hardest but most profitable set of reviews I've done the entire channel, just because working on, you know, recovering from the loss of my mom, which in my history is still pretty recent. Howdy, everyone. Speaking of new metal bands, I just got off with one of my homies. And like we've been setting up for like literally almost a year and a half to chill together when he came close to town or whatnot. And he's like, yo, bro. He's like, dude, all we can do is bus hotel stage. Like the COVID lockdowns that they have to deal with are insane. It's absolutely ridiculous.
That's awful. Wait, how come there's only 2 videos in it? There should have been more, right?
Yeah, it's the Maynard's Mom Quartet. I'll add it later because there's been like 6 or 7 other songs that
should be in there.
Yeah.
Okay, is he here?
I haven't seen him yet. I haven't seen it. Hold on, guys. We'll start song 1 as soon as the big homie shows up. Can you jump in the chat so I can start doing the downloads?
Sure. And I'm waiting for him to email the thing.
Oh, there he is right there. Tony the Lone Rider Smith. There he is right there. I'm gonna screenshot. I'm gonna screenshot that face. Bro.
Yes, you need to send me the face. I'm gonna check my emails right now.
Boom bap.
So I can
So look, There you go.
Yeah, but I'll probably be able to get you a better one because he'll probably send me a better one. Like, as in it won't have a play button in front of his face.
Yeah, I was like, I know Sori's
I don't like it.
perfectionist ass.
Yep,
is
I
never
want it
gonna
done
like
right.
that one. All right, Tony, send us the email of the of your face, bro. I mean, the play button could be good, right? Because it's like, hey, we're listening to music. You know what I'm saying? The play button.
Yeah.
Where's Ben Webb? I'm looking for Ben Webb to bring the heat. I haven't seen him.
Maybe he's
Maybe he's repented of his sin. Maybe.
No.
Look at that. No. Boom.
Maybe he's actually like 14.
I don't know, Sarai. I think we're gonna stay with this one.
Maybe
I like the play button being there. I like it.
Well.
We'll leave it up to DJ. We'll leave it up to the what do you call it? What do you call that thing? The DJ? Mm-hmm. Tell these people how
he's
you're
not.
listening.
He's not bringing it up.
Go
so
in the chat.
Yeah, I'm gonna go in the chat because the Lone Rider hasn't sent me a message. I just went and checked for it.
Lone
Live.
Rider.
Live.
DJ'd by Tony.
No. Oh yeah, the Lone Rider. Whoops.
Lone Rider.
Okay.
Smith, bitches.
Ben would definitely bring the heat to this lineup. No doubt. No
Who
doubt.
said that?
Isaac Bates.
Is that Tone? Tone Loke?
Is it important for Christians to go to church? That all depends. Do you want to go to hell? I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. That's like the answer that everybody always gives.
That's so good. That's so good. That's good. Let's pile on the works righteousness, Soraya. Go ahead.
Sure.
Yes, you also have to give thousands of dollars to the poor, things of that nature. It's all your good deeds that determine whether or not you go to heaven.
Overshadow. I messaged back the people as I got the messages, which was yesterday. I replied to everything. So if you didn't get a reply from me, then resend that email. Secondly, no, you don't have to go to church. I will say the Bible says not to forsake the gathering. So that means you're supposed to get together with other people that are believers. And I mean, I think to a degree this counts, because we're Christians and we're hanging out with you and we talk about God and the Bible and all that stuff. I do think that it's good to. My father used to give this example, which I thought was pretty good. He was talking about like when people get like an exercise equipment at their house and how likely they are to actually exercise on it versus how likely they are to dry clothing on it, flop something over it, and use it for storage, and how if you go to a gym, well, you're at the gym, more than likely you're going to actually exercise at the gym. You're around other people that are exercising. You're at the gym, other people are exercising. I'm just going to mute you because you're messing with my analogy.
That's actually a very good analogy, I'm not going to lie to you.
So being around other people that are working out, yeah, there's some people at the gym that don't work out, but those people we look at and we're like, well, I'm not going to be that guy. So anyway, it's good and it's healthy to be around other people that are kind of going in the same flow that you are because it encourages you in your own flow. So that is one of the reasons church is important to be a part of. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult to find a church that doesn't kind of fit into the typical negatives that people look for. But at the same time, you got to understand that the church is full of a bunch of people who say, look, I need help. Some people don't walk around saying I need help. They always want to look like they're above everybody else. But I think that if you search, you can find some cool people in just about any church. So,
yeah, Jambi asked me a question about
Jambi.
I think there's another lockdown happening where he is. Okay, so he says, us Melbournians in Australia have now surpassed 200 days of hard lockdown. Holy shit. 5-kilometer limit from home. 1 hour of exercise outside. Everything's closed. Playground closed. Thoughts. As an American, the government telling you can only be outside for an hour.
Yeah.
And the government being that specific, you can only go 5 clicks from your house. I'm out, man. I am not. I'll say it now because I've been talking on mute the entire time. So.
Oh really? So if I would have muted you, I would have actually unmuted you.
Actually, no. You muted me.
No, I was joking. I didn't do it. I feel like that's very rude. So no, I don't.
I don't think that's that.
Yeah, well, remember that person muted me that time?
Oh, yeah.
It really made me angry. I want to flip the friggin' table.
Murder that.
I really did.
You were to murder
He
that
shouldn't have done that to me.
because you're too prideful.
Yeah.
Let me say it again though, and then we're gonna get right into song one, y'all. So Jambi says, Melbournians in Australia have now surpassed 200 days of hard lockdown. 5-kilometer limit from home, 1 hour exercise outside, everything closed, playgrounds closed. Thoughts? As I said when I was muted, I'm not a fan of the government being that specific, telling people you only get 1 hour outside of exercise. It sounds like prison.
I know.
1 hour of exercise and then 5 clicks from your house. Like, I'm out. I just wish some of these government agencies would can you plug the thing in? Would try to give their people a little bit more credit. I think most, it's hard because of what happened last year with the whole COVID is a hoax thing in America.
Yep.
So, but I still think until your people prove that they're that batshit crazy, especially if you look at how well New Zealand handled the pandemic last year and how they were pretty good sports, I don't understand why you have to be that draconian. Just tell people common sense stuff like, hey guys, we're trying to limit this shit. Don't be like the Americans, but we're not going to tell you. I mean, an hour outside that's just crossing a line to me, bro. Like, you get an hour out to exercise, you should be grateful because the government allowed you to have an hour out. I'm out. What I know about governments is that governments...
Vin, your mic is too low. Whoa, I've never seen anyone say that.
Governments are very, very good at taking power from regular citizens, and they're horrible at giving it back.
Yeah, that's the freaky part.
So look at the Patriot Act and all the justifications for the Patriot Act and what the U.S. government did. And to this moment, they still haven't, rescinded that. So what's worse is the comparison is that we were thrown into a 2-week lockdown because we have one COVID case.
Really? Is it one though, or are you exaggerating?
No, I'm certain. I'm certain.
One, literally one.
Yeah, Jambi's usually up on his shit when it comes to this stuff. But
well,
you could say it's an overreaction. They're gonna say, "Hey, look, New Zealand handled it probably the best of any. Was New Zealand and Swiss, Swiss were kind of like oppositional comparisons, but." They in my opinion they handle it well, and so they've got an argument to say, hey, we know what the hell we're doing. So
to a degree,
agree. yeah, I think to a degree possibly, but I don't know why people are saying that they can't hear me. But it looks like other people are hearing me. So, Davey J, inshallah, you can maybe reset your computer.
The Lone Rider, can you send me that picture of you with the green background so I can put it in your thumbnail?
You see that conversation you're having on Patreon, or did you put that on Trello already?
His list?
Yeah.
Yeah, I already put it on Trello.
Okay, so there he is. Okay. And that list is in order, right? So
what is
Breaking
that
Benjamin
supposed to mean? Anyone knows about Sevendust if he's good? Why wouldn't he be good?
Well, he was in Afghanistan.
Oh, God, I thought there's something.
Yeah, seven's okay, guys. Seven's in good shape. He's all right. Remember, the tally, already committed not to attack Americans last year, and they've been good with it. So seven's good.
Okay.
I just hope he comes home. This is the official song. DJ Lone Rider, do you want it to be the official video? Do you guys want it to be the official video? Because if it is, they're definitely gonna get blocked. Okay, he sent it to the Vid and Story email.
Oh.
The email that he sent us. It's
okay. Well, I'm headed over there.
He's completely naked in this picture.
You're such a liar.
I don't know if we want like.
But do you remember? Remember that person that sent that?
Somebody sent us a completely naked.
No, remember he was wearing just the Sorry Secret shirt over his. He was lying on the bed. Remember?
Oh, is that
yes.
D?
Yes. Holy moly. I was like, what?
terrible. I can't find his picture.
Okay. Ugh. I'm not seeing it. I logged into the Vin and Sorry one. It's not there. Can you send it to the secret one?
I sent it at Vin and Story, but it's a full body pic.
That's fine if it's a full body pic. I just need... I'm not seeing anything when I'm going there.
All right. I just downloaded Red Cold River. If it gets blocked, it gets blocked. What can you do?
Okay. Yeah, there's nothing here.
Perfect Circle is not the official, so looks like he knows what he's doing. Resend it to vinandstory@gmail.com. Por favor. We have like so many email addresses, that's a problem. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Facts.
Of course you have a problem with it. Of course you have a problem.
Who does?
Trying to download this song.
Edit a copy. Okay. Well, I mean, the one good thing is that people, they chat with each other, so.
What do you mean people chat with each other?
In the comments, so when we're setting stuff up, it's not like...
Well, there's two of us, right? So
well, yeah, but we both have stuff to do, right? Red Cold River. Nice. Yeah. Oh, Mark, hey, what's up? I was just breaking down your DJ stream today.
Chris, you haven't missed a thing, my guy.
We haven't even started. We've yet to begin.
We've yet to begin.
Overshadow, we got both of our shots. We did the... Which one?
Pretty
Pfizer?
sure it's the Pfizer one.
Pfizer version. This shoulder still hurts ever since I did it.
It still hurts?
It still does.
That's got to be psychosoma. Are you doing a song review tonight? Yeah, we are doing a song review tonight, eventually. Actually, let me put the clock up. We got 2 minutes till a song review, guys. 2 minutes till the first song.
Oh, you've never heard of some of these songs? Nice.
Reviewed. Dos minutos.
Yeah, Mark, he wanted me to put that one out. He's like, put that one out right now. And so I was breaking up, well, because it just had come out, you said? Like that Coheed shoulder song. Yeah, so he's like, put that one out, post haste. So I uploaded that one today, and I was breaking up the other ones and starting to upload those. So.
Oh, you like the lights. Good, Doug Johnson. I appreciate it. I'm glad you like the lights.
Somebody likes them.
Glad you like them, sir. All right.
Okay, so now I'm leaving the chat so I can go check the email to get the picture of...
Oh my God, I ducking did it. I finally got the Master Sword.
On what game?
What is the Master Sword?
What game?
Oh, that's a video game. I thought it was... what's needed to do a DJ stream? A DJ stream is four songs...
4-song minimum.
Or more. 4 songs or more, and then you get to DJ for the entire night.
Anthony, what's happening here? It's not here.
Okay, we're at 58 seconds.
Yeah, just start it. Send it to me.
That sounds like Zelda.
I'll
so Zelda. So shout out to the big homie. What an accomplishment. Ba-boom, ba-boom, boom.
Okay, I have to say Zelda was one of my favorite video games to watch somebody else play.
Are you familiar with Wolves in the Throne Room? We're not very familiar with them, but we did see them live with Behemoth.
But we're familiar with this. Start the commercial.
That's actually 30 seconds. You were 30 seconds early, miss. 30 seconds early. But yeah, guys, first song is coming down the plank for you beautiful people. It's called Breaking Benjamin, Red Cold River. It's the official video. So if the video dies on us, never you fear.
Go after the Lone Rider.
It's coming back. It's just that the filthy capitalist at the record label shut us down. But we're gonna be here for all 5 songs, you beautiful people. And of course, it's DJ Lone Rider. So we're gonna end with Sevendust. Y'all already know. You already know. All right, guys, it's Sean's favorite time of the day. It's commercial time. Commercial time, ladies and gents. There's a big 00. We shall return in very short order. Vin.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option. As Sorry says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at instory@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Story. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Story and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
And a child shall lead them, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
To buy our merch.
All right.
Be like Applejack and get yourself some merch. And if you do, send us a picture of it so we can feature you.
Yes.
Speaking of feature, this is Breaking Benjamin. The name of this song is Cold Red River, I think it's called. The name of the band is Breaking Benjamin. The name of our DJ for tonight, dear listener, is DJ Tony the Lone Rider. This handsome fella right here who...
with an awesome looking beard, although that is a fake beard, so I don't know.
Who will soon...
This guy's got a great beard, though.
You guys...
The best. Okay, so also, is there anything that he wanted said here?
I don't think so. Having said that, the time has arrived. Breaking Benjamin, Red Cold River. Let's go.
She's gone. Taken from me.
Oh, fuck.
This world is cold. Without love. I will fix this. I'll make this right.
Days reborn, fight with folded hands, pain left below, the life I live again.
Damn. Whoa.
Oh my God, she died?
Well, I mean, it appears that is the conclusion, and then the guy got vengeance for her or whatever, and then she showed up as an angel, and he was basically like a demon at the end of the video, and then she was like reaching out to him. They were trying to like touch each other, you know, the Michelangelo thing with the brutal.
Oh my God.
Brutal. Breaking Benjamin is, in my mind, I have them categorized as just a pop metal band. Like that's what they are in my mind. Davey is saying they're the only Christian band that he loves.
What? They're a Christian
Are they a
band?
Christian
I always forget
band?
that. I feel like I don't know that every time. They're so
I've never.
good.
This is the first time I've ever heard anybody say Breaking Benjamin was a Christian band.
They're really good. Oh, God, this song made me sick.
I didn't know that they were.
Is there any of this was true? Is this based off a true story? Somebody tell me.
I mean,
obviously we know that kids get kidnapped, but did this person have a personal experience?
I doubt it. But I think the lyrics are
okay. This is what he said before it. Good song, but it's the video why I'm choosing the song. But beware as a parent, it might get you in your feels, especially you. Sorry, right?
Well, I mean, they kidnapped the girl. The guy, you know. I think it's the guy did something with the girl, and then the dad finds the guy and kills him. That's who he's dragging him and all that shit.
Fuck that guy.
We were just having a conversation about that in the car, where I was talking about like dealing with your personal flaws, and you know, and I talked about how certain situations like bring out, you know, they let you know where you actually are. So,
Yep.
the situation with
If you choose to be aware.
The situation with you, and I talked about, you know, look, this and this would happen if anybody, if I came home and I saw you were harmed, like that wouldn't be a good day for whoever. And then, you know, there was a situation where we were out, I came home, and somebody had called one of the girls and told one of the girls to meet him at, you know, Panera or whatever. And I'm like, the kids are like, yeah, some guy is randomly, you know, whatever, God's always number, yada yada yada. And I was like, oh, word? Oh, okay. So I hit the door. I was ready to go to Panera, like, immediately. And you were like, hey, let's chill. Let's think this through. Because you saw my face. What were you thinking?
Well, my thing is that I know that kids can do stupid things. So,
Right.
like, what if, you know, and now there's also, now I'm just thinking, holy shit, there was another element that I never considered.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But I was just thinking, well, you got to ask the kids first, because, you know, it's possible that they're going to lie, but it's also possible that they might tell you what's going on, or they might have some whatever. So I just wanted him to just wait a second, because he looked very serious, and
Oh, you wanted me to wait a second.
I wanted you to wait a second so we
Yeah.
could find out if there was anything that we had before, you know, somebody was just accusing somebody else. You know what I mean? Because it could be as simple as, you know, one of her friends had her number and her friend happened to be at Panera and her phone was, you know what I'm saying? Like there's so many different things that it could be. There's a lot of variables. And then you just looked furious, and I could tell by the look on your face that you did not want me going with you. Did I read that correctly?
Yeah, I wasn't going to take you.
I knew it. Because I knew it was completely out. So I just wanted to just pause. Let's find out where we're at.
I don't want you to see me in that type of... I know there's like a lot of curiosity, and people just generally have certain kinds of curiosities about shit. But I don't want you... I didn't want you seeing me in that kind of mode.
No, and I understand that. And honest
people
to
think
goodness,
they want to see, but
no,
they really
I don't. I don't.
Yeah.
I know that you think that I won't.
Well, you
I
used
wanna
to want to.
No, what I want to see is I want to see you doing some like MMA with somebody who's like you, where you can go all out with them. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see something serious. And I especially, honest to goodness, I pray all the time. I say, God, please don't put him in that situation. Please don't put him in that situation. And there's sometimes, you know, where like I'll say, oh, this and this just happened. And I can tell by the look on your face, I'm like, I should have probably kept that to myself.
Well, I mean, obviously, anything relative to the kids, like, there's going to be a problem.
Oh, yeah,
You
yeah.
know, with
I'm
me.
saying
So
relevant.
I went
you know.
over there. I went over there.
I just wanted him to just pause for a minute.
I went over there and I found the guy.
But it was a squirrely situation. It was...
Yeah. Yeah.
And like you said, nobody that was around him that knew him said, no, yo, he's not like that. You know what I'm saying?
No,
So,
all his his coworkers were like, you know, like they were like, hey, we're over here.
right,
But,
right.
You know,
And I don't know if that's because of your energy or if it's his energy. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are some people that if somebody would have come in and they would have been like, yo, you tried to get a hold of my 12-year-old daughter, that I would have been like, he probably did. And then there's other people that I would have been like, no, that never happened. No way. No way.
Yeah.
Like with you know what I mean? Like, you've had thousands of interactions with tons of different women. They'd come in your office and talk to you about all kinds of stuff, and you never had one sexual charge against you.
Yeah.
You know, it's never happened. Not even anything close. Everybody just knows your energy and knows what you're about. So,
yeah.
so
Yeah.
if somebody would have come in and accused you of that, I think people would be like, no.
Yeah, they didn't even try it.
Yeah.
But you know, I went there and I, you know, it was I wasn't really thinking a lot. This is, you know,
Nope.
it happens to your kids, and your kids, you know, safety is whatever, you know, people are, you know. So I went over there and, you know, we, you know, I settled the situation. But, you know, it's one of those things that shows you where you are, because that's been the major issue that I have is, like, you know, propensity for violence, propensity to solve problems with violence, blah, blah, blah. And, like, you know, trying to read your Bible and trying to be a person that's, like, trying as hard as I can to live consistently with Jesus's nonviolence ethic. And, I'm very good at it when it comes to me. Like, if somebody says or does something, there's almost nothing you can do to me that's going to make me have a violent reaction to you, including up to and including threatening me or what.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Like,
yeah. Oh, no, I've seen it. I've seen it a bunch of times.
But when it comes to you or the kids,
Yeah,
like,
forget about it.
It's clear to me that I'm not as
Advanced as you...
far along on
As you once
the
thought.
nonviolent stuff as I should be.
Yeah.
And it's true. That's how you feel. I can't feel anything at all.
Well, I think you kind of go through, like, phases, and I think certain things... This is just something that I've been noticing about myself. So there are certain inclinations towards certain sins that I have, and you have certain inclinations towards certain sins. And sometimes it's just like you just want to do something or whatever. But other times I think that it's just, for instance, like if you get a cold front and moisture come together, you can see a reaction to that. You know what I mean? Like, even if it's inside, well, of course, this is what I heard. Inside of a house, like if you had like a really cold house and it was all drafty and it was like bitter cold in there, and you started cooking something on the stove that was creating moisture, it would create in the air something. So sometimes life creates that where it's like, okay, now you're in a situation and it kind of makes you want to turn toward that sin pattern that you have, or that thing that you do that you're like, I wish I wouldn't do this. You know, some people it could be drugs, some people it could be porn, some people it could be violence, some people, there's so many different things that it could be. But situations tell you where you're at. They do. If you're aware and you're looking for it. So you had a situation and it was clear and you haven't even recovered from that situation. And now you're more, I think you're more inclined toward like wanting to be violent because you haven't even recovered from that last situation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, the situation with Dorian and yeah, I mean, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's you know, I pray about it a lot. I pray not to get put in those situations because
Pray for it too. Please,
when
God, don't
you know
put
when
me
it
in
says I can't feel anything at all, the life has left me cold and damned. It's a very crazy feeling, but you don't really know that it's crazy until, you know, you're outside of it. But at the same time, it's like, Who's not going to protect their kids? Who's going to allow their kids to be hurt? I mean, I just think that there's
Lots of people. Honey, you know it. We have countless stories of kids that were molested or things happened to them when they were kids and their parents and people knew and didn't say or do shit. You know that. It happens a lot. It happens a lot in families. People keep that stuff quiet.
Yeah. It's something that I will say when I came to this state, it's something that is a mystery to me. I don't understand. Because where I'm from...
Right.
I mean, the shit that happened with you, like, I don't understand. I don't understand. I never will. I don't understand the culture here, like, especially the men in this area. Like, the culture here is very strange to me. Like, I don't understand it, and it makes sense why this state has the most child molesters per capita, because the dudes here don't do anything.
Right.
And
a lot of times the victim is the one that gets demonized and the person just gets off scot-free.
Yeah, that's universal, but usually when it comes to kids, people draw the line. But here, like, nothing happens. Dudes are out there, and it's crazy. Everybody knows, oh yeah, that guy did this with this girl, blah, 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 blah. Like, the girl was, there's like a 20-year age gap and all this shit. And, like, everybody knows, nobody does anything. Like, I'm like, okay, all right, fine. This is the way life should be. It's Maine. You know what I'm saying? Like, and part of me wishes, like, I could be that circumspect to a degree. But, I just don't get it. I don't get it. You know what I mean? Like, there's like not engaging in something because you want to follow Jesus and like turn the other cheek, and then there's just straight cowardice. You know what I'm saying? And like, weird.
Well, I think it depends too. Like, I was talking to the kids today about family structures and how some structures are about the appearance of something, and it doesn't matter what's happening at home. It just matters what it looks like on the outside. That was unfathomable to them. They could not even believe that was such a thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there are lots of families. So some families, they don't want to, if the uncle or the somebody turns out to do something to the kids, they want to just keep that stuff quiet because they don't want everybody thinking. I think that because... Wow, this is crazy. Okay, so you know how pedophilia is like the one sin that everybody's like, yo, that's unforgivable.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe that very attitude is what actually ends up keeping more kids in trouble. Because there's such a stigma on it that people are like, if they find out their brother did something or they find out that their family member did something, they don't want it getting out because then people be like, oh, they have a pedophile in their family. Maybe she's one. Maybe he's one. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I agree.
So because of that, people don't want to say what they know because they don't want to be targeted as someone who might possibly be like that, because it's like the big unpardonable sin, which obviously I am not okay with that. And I do think people should be under heavy, heavy punishment for that. And I will always say that they should have certain parts of their bodies removed for that. And I know you said that's not a game stopper. I don't care. I still would say that should be done. Stopper? You said even if they chop them off, they're still, it's about power and control, or it's about other things. I don't care. I'm saying if somebody does that, we should just remove that. So now there's a certain person that when he did stuff, he goes on his merry old way, and if nobody looks it up, they can be in a situation. Now everybody knows if that's missing, that's who you're dealing with.
Yeah, I just think...
And I know, you would say, well, then what if they remove it from a good guy?
I just think that that's a very naive understanding of how those things work.
I didn't say that was a fix. I just said I would do that just as this is going to happen.
I know you would.
And it would make all of us that have to stand by and see all these things keep happening, it would make us feel better. Well,
I know that, but what I'm saying is that fix, that solution.
I didn't say it was a fix or a solution.
Yeah, well, you did, because you said if somebody sees that that's missing, you know who you're dealing with.
Well, that will help, yeah.
It's like, that's ridiculous. That's not how those people operate. First of all, who would see that? It's not like people go around showing their junk to people all the time, right?
Well, no, but if if your child said something, or, I don't know. I just feel like, and I feel like it's a deterrent. I know you don't think that it is, but I do. I feel like that if your junk could possibly get chopped off,
you're speaking
you
from
would.
the perspective of a person who you're completely physicalizing this situation.
No, I didn't say it was a fix. I just think that it would be.
Well, you did.
It would
You
be a
said
deterrent to
would
some
know what they're
people.
dealing with.
Well, yeah. So you know how there's like some people that
about
they
the
they
rest
did
of
all
your
this
life
and then they
in-
went and they got married.
What about the
and then
rest
they
of
end
your
up
life-
molesting their kids?
What about the rest of your life in prison? Is that a deterrent?
Well, no, people still do it.
Yeah, I'm just saying that when you say they would know what they're dealing with, that doesn't protect any child. Because if a child is in a situation where they're seeing the junk of an adult, then it's already too late, right?
Yes, I know, but I still think, I know you and we don't agree on this.
No, it's not that we don't agree. I'm trying to get an understanding.
I'm
when you
saying-
say, hold on, when you say, then we would know what we're dealing with, that would necessitate seeing the guy's junk, right?
Okay, listen. So I know somebody
So
who did stuff to kids, and then he went on and proceeded to have multiple relationships with women, and those women had children and they
this
had no
somebody-
clue. Yes. They had no clue.
Yeah.
Right? Well, would he have proceeded into a relationship with this woman? And
Yeah, absolutely. I don't believe.
don't you think she would have thought it was odd if he wasn't having sex with
Your
her?
Grace, there are millions of women who marry men knowing full well what they're dealing with. There are women who allow their children to be violated by these sick motherfuckers. We met these people.
I know, but I don't feel like that's
So what I'm
as
what
common
I'm saying,
as the other
what I'm
thing.
saying is what I'm saying.
Parents that allow it to.
Absolutely, the mom who will allow that to happen. That is very. What are you talking about, Ross? Hey, I'll tell you something. I guarantee you, it's happened with people that you know that have your last name, not your current last name, but your other last name. What do you mean? Mm-hmm. You didn't think the mom knew the shit was happening with the sister? She was completely clueless?
I don't know. They always said she was, but I don't know if she was.
Come on, Sarai. Obviously she knew. Shit like that can't happen for years in your family and you not know. But the family made a concerted, they covenanted with each other to slam the victim, and they all did it. Of course she knew. Like you're projecting your goodness onto everybody else.
Yeah, because I told the people, I said, you should tell your mother that happened. And they said no, because it would crush her to know that, because the husband was already dead.
So those people, these kind of issues can only survive if there is an army of enablers. That's the only way that shit can continue. And Maine is full of cowardly men and enabling women who are vicious. Holy shit. Yeah.
So does anybody know, was this based off a true story? Is this one of the band members?
Somebody said that there's a three-parter, that this is a three-part story, that there's two other videos that
Are before or after this?
No, this was the first one. So he's saying there's two other videos that tell the story, which is a pretty intelligent song choice, because now it's like, you know what I'm saying? We're going to have to revisit this at some point because we want to figure out how the story ends. You see what I'm saying? All right. I just want to let you know I've been praying. I'm happy to see you guys. I started laughing when stories started getting grossed out during Dead Skin Mass. It's my all-time favorite song. Shout out to Waters of Life 101. I'm assuming this is a Christian
Yep.
Slayer fan.
You must
All right,
not
what
have
do
a lot of people that agree with you.
What do you? That is true. Many women have the savior complex and go for the worst men possible. What do you get this song?
Oh boy. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this song obviously made me very sick. I feel like they did a fantastic job.
Yeah, that's what
and
they're supposed to do.
I love the way that they sing musically. I do understand that it was kind of mainstream, kind of something that you expect.
Yeah, it's a little poppy.
But at the same time, I really liked it, and I'm kind of a fan of that type of music. So for me, it's a 9.8.
That's a 8.9 for me. 8.9 for me. All right, you beautiful people. If you're in regular,
Franco, we both got the same score.
if you're in regular YouTube world, you're just gonna have to catch us at 7 p.m. EST later on today. If you are in the DJ stream like a good villager, then we'll see you for the next song. Vin out.
Sorry out.
Go. Holy shit, that was a heavy one. All right, guys. 2 minutes. We're jumping right back into the next one. Somebody asked me a question. I need such a woman.
Somebody asked me.
I don't know what type of woman. What
Remember,
type of woman?
because somebody said something about some women go after a man because they want to be their savior. They want to save the guy.
Oh,
So he's saying,
he needs a girl that's gonna try to save
I
him.
need such a savior. Well, get her before Ben does.
Girls, yeah, they definitely have that effect for sure. All right, guys, you see the ticker. It's 2 minutes. We got another song coming up for you beautiful people. The next one is going to be an APC song, The Outsider, Their Perfect Circles, coming up next. So stay tuned, you losers. Somebody asked me a question. Do I believe in good and evil? Yes, I do believe in good and evil. I believe that goodness is ultimate reality and that evil is a bastardization of the original. So I don't believe evil exists as its own independent ontological reality. Evil always has to be a version of something else. And so that's what I believe about good and evil. I'm excited about APC. Yeah, it's called The Outsider, which is really an interesting thought process because that's pretty much the village. We're all outsiders, but because we've all found each other, we've hopefully, inshallah, we found ways to get together. Jambi, hey, Amber in the house. Shout out to Jambi.
My shirt said Gears. It's a
band actually.
It's a band that we interviewed. He was a really cool guy.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
really, really good. His girl was cool too. 30 seconds, guys. 30 seconds.
You guys were. Sometimes it's really fun to watch you talk to certain people.
Why?
He was just one of them. Well,
20 seconds.
Because of that gift that you have.
Oh, I see. Sure. People seem to be really excited about this APC song, so I get you. I bet you
Hopefully
it's
it's
gonna
happy.
be a banger. It's gonna be a banger, inshallah. What do we have for dinner? Is there any dinner?
Taco bean soup.
Okay, can you text Zoe? All right, guys, here we go. Assalamu alaikum, Ya Amber. Commercial time. I'm Vin.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sorry says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at itsorry@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull
You
that off.
can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord,
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
and they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village. Facebook.com/VinandSorry. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sorry and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed.
Buy it.
Y'all shall lead them.
I always want to say, buy it, bitches. And I'm so afraid I'm going to see your dad soon. And he's going to see our channel and he's going to be like, this woman, why is my son with her? Not only is she white, but she cusses like a damn sailor.
You being white has no effect on my father at all.
It doesn't?
No.
For
no.
negative or for positive?
Yeah.
I feel like there must be some families it would be a positive.
With my mom, it would be
a negative.
It would be a negative. But she would get over it quickly. She would just make fun of you incessantly for being white. She would ask you how you season the chicken, all that type of shit.
Well, I wash my chicken, so
Yeah.
we'd be good there.
Yeah. So.
And I would willingly, openly, and lovingly take all of her tips on how to season it.
I think you would up on the seasoning, but as far as like the
other stuff, no.
the other stuff, no.
Well, I have my.
That would be an absolute disaster, but it would be a fun show to watch, though. It'd be a really good show to watch. But holy moly! By the way, it smells like something is on. Oh,
Yeah, it's my curling
your
iron because
curling
these
iron.
bangs look really bad. So I was gonna give it like a little.
All right, nobody cares, ladies and gentlemen. This is a perfect circle.
When are we doing a perfect circle review, Travis? It's right now.
Right now.
You can thank the Lone Rider for that.
Yes, sir. Not what I expected it to start out as.
Help me if you can. It's just that this is not the way I'm wired, so could you please help me understand why you're giving into all these reckless dark desires? You're lying to yourself again. Suicidal in the soul. Think about it, coming out of all night. Will it take to get it through to you, precious? Know it is why you wanna throw it away like this. Such a mess, why I wanna watch you disconnect and self-destruct one bullet at a time. What's your rush now, everyone?
Okay. We're
Thank you.
supposed to read.
Yes, thank you for stopping that.
We're supposed to read Thingamajiggy, so we're gonna rewind this so you'll get more APC, you dumb butts.
And more
Okay.
of us, whether you like it or not. Okay, so A Perfect Circle, The Outsider, great song. As someone who's wanted to be dead, and oh God, let me say this. I thought it was going to be something happy. As someone who's wanted to be dead many times and thought suicide many times, I've never tried it, and I won't because I want to live forever, but I won't as I'll die someday. So I'm going to enjoy being alive until that time.
Having said that, dear listener.
Glad you won't. I would be very sad.
Yeah, you ain't going anywhere, bro. What you doing? I accidentally sent you the wrong video.
Well, I liked that video. It was very cute.
All right. Perfect circle again. Let's go. Jambi, send me an email.
Help me if you can. It's just that this is not the way I'm wired, so could you please
And immediate end. Holy moly.
You know what?
This did sound like a Tool song.
It did. It absolutely did.
And
the production wasn't as good, though.
well, I don't think that that's a song. He chose a lyric video.
Oh.
See what I'm saying? I'm sure
okay.
the production's top notch, just like anything else. But he was choosing the lyric video because
Yep.
APC will block us, damn it. Ben Webb's in the house. He said, "This is the only good song of the day. Enjoy it."
I know. I was just glad he showed up.
Stuck for a while.
It's turning into another.
Yeah, but showing some folks some of those texts and things of that nature might change the entire narrative. See what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But I'm testing. I'm gonna see. Anyway, the riff before the last lyrics needed to be longer. The person said. I actually agree with that one.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't think saying that this one sounded the most Tool-y is necessarily it's not a bad thing. I'm not dissing, because Tool, I mean, subhanAllah, Tool is a legendary band, for God's sake. Jambi, I responded to your email. It was funny because the last line that you had was the entire reason I sent the email in the first place, so there's that. Yeah, but you look like you disagree, though.
No, I'm thinking about the lyrics here. Also, what you had just said. Obviously, that was a real banger. But this, am I understanding this song correctly? Is he basically calling people suicidal imbecile? Like he's saying, look, you're gonna die anyway at some point. So why are you gonna rush the whole thing?
Sadie is saying that she says, "So can I be obnoxious at the front of this? This song is about Trent Reznor."
Oh,
Trent Reznor's 9 Inch Nails guy.
Yep.
And he's known for being, melodramatic, blah, 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 blah. So he makes friends with these people, but they can't stay friends with him. So him and Marilyn Manson were together. That didn't work out. Now, him and Maynard were actually supposed to do a record together, I'm pretty sure. And
he couldn't do it.
So I don't know.
So is
if it's about Trent, I would believe that it was about Trent because they were supposed to do an entire record together, and it just never happened. And then Deftones and I'm pretty sure it was either Deftones and 9 Inch Nails or Deftones, and it was supposed to be Chino and Maynard. They were going to do this thing called Team Sleep. That was the name of the band, Team Sleep.
Okay.
That never happened either. So these guys are very, 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 very hard to get along with. Yeah, the band was Tapeworm. See, right there. So Sadie is our resident. Either she's a Reznor expert or she's an APC expert. But it's very specifically about Reznor getting clean.
Oh. Et
cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So thank you for the assist there, Shorty.
Sis.
We appreciate you. Okay, so
assist,
then
assist.
if you, it's interesting because I think he used the term drama queen. I think he said here.
Yeah, he did.
Medicated
He did.
drama queen, picture perfect, non-belligerence.
Yeah.
Narcissistic drama queen. Craving fame in all its decadence. And then Limp Bizkit also has a Trent Reznor diss song.
Really?
Yeah, but I mean, these guys can't get along with each other. Like, Trent is hailed as a musical genius. As a matter of fact, I had a friend. Remember that friend I was talking to you about, that lesbian girl? Trent Reznor was her god.
Oh no, babe, don't twist that.
What do you mean?
You'll friggin' burn my head off. My hair.
Well, are you keeping it on purpose? Is there a reason?
Yeah, as soon as this finished this song, I was gonna do my bangs.
Oh, okay.
But now you put it to do 1,000 degrees or something.
Okay, so Maynard.
No, you were in the middle of saying something.
Well, Maynard and Trent are close, so maybe this isn't necessarily a critique song, but when you love somebody, sometimes they just, you just get mad at them and you're like, man, fuck this shit.
Well, I think that this song is actually pretty versatile. Sure, it's probably about Trent Reznor, but at the same time, I think that this could be used for. Okay, so there's some people that are traumatic suicide people, as in something traumatic
right.
There's a traumatic event that makes you feel suicidal.
Oh, okay.
And then
I'm with that.
I think that there's some people that are I don't know, chronic or habitual, or suicide is something that they've talked about for years and they felt it for years, and it's almost like they're, I don't know, their blanket in a sense. It's their coping mechanism. When life gets too difficult, they think about their death or how they would do it. Yeah. And if you, it's not healthy. It's not healthy at all to do. And in fact, you have to get yourself reset. Again, I'd say this all the time. Get the help that you need. Talk to the people that you need to get reset. Because if your mind is constantly going to suicide as a way of coping, it is not a healthy coping mechanism. And the end result will probably be your death or a long life of misery. So,
holy shit, Soraya.
What? I think it's true.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're just bringing heat today. Go ahead.
And then, because he says, so could you please help me understand why you've given in to all these reckless, dark desires? So I think that suicide, or the idea that you think about suicide and kind of like marinate in the thought of suicide, or it's kind of like your pet that you hold on to. If you're that type of person, chances are you have a lot of other dark desires that are reckless that you give into. So I think that this is such a good and important song, especially for our community, because I think that all of us, whether we've been like a traumatic suicidal person or a chronic suicidal person, like, this is an important message. You cannot live in the pool of pending suicide. You have to get well. You have to get out of that. And you know, I have to be careful what I say, but I definitely think that, you know, he says disconnect and self-destruct one bullet at a time. What's your rush now? Everyone will have his day to die. This idea that, I'm not sure where he was going with it, but for me, it says disconnect and self-destruct. And it's another type of coping that I found that even I do, or something that I'm trying to get out of, is that when a situation becomes too difficult, or something, you know, really, really kind of gets to you, you try to disconnect from it. It could be disconnecting from a person. It could be disconnecting from a situation, and not being aware of that situation. And the reason that that's so super unhealthy is because you didn't just float into this situation. It didn't come out of nowhere. I mean, there are some things, like if you were driving down the highway and a plane just randomly crashed into your car, that's kind of one of those random things that it's like, well, that bad thing happened to you, and I'm really not sure how there's any culpability on your fault, on your part.
Yeah.
But there are other things in life that if you look behind you, you talk about it as kinetic, you know, kinetic
chain, yeah.
Kinetic chain,
yeah,
of how you got to that situation. So it's super, super important to kind of focus on the event and how did you get to this point? And it's something that Vinny is super good at this. He's good at picking it out for himself and other people. I'm trying to get good at picking it out for myself and trying to get better at picking it up with the kids. Like, their day can be going just perfectly fine, and then, you know, perhaps somebody says they didn't do something well, because they didn't, but they thought they did, but they half-assed it, and that's their fault. So let's say they do something like that, and then you call them on it, and then they feel a little prideful, they feel uncomfortable, they don't like it that you just confronted them on it because they wanted to do a good job, but they did do something that you've repeatedly told them not to do. And then all of a sudden their mood changes, and now they're angry, and then one thing after the next until they blow up on something. And it's like, well, why did you blow up like that? It didn't come out of nowhere. You know, Jordan Peterson talks about getting to a point where, like, all of a sudden somebody's like crying about something. You're like, what happened? Yeah. And it's not that event. It's a bunch of other ones that led up to it. That was just the last little boop that put you over the edge. So we have to be conscious of what leads us up to the event where we blow up, or the event where we're feeling suicidal, and try to start picking apart those paths and see where we can make changes. And sometimes the changes are very small, and sometimes the changes are big, but you have to take steps toward getting well and not using that as a coping mechanism. Because, I mean, I don't know, we've said it I've heard it a bunch of times that, like, before somebody cheats, they think about cheating a lot. And I'm pretty sure women think about cheating like a lot more than men do before they actually cheat. Or maybe that was just a women's magazine I was reading. I don't know.
That women think about cheating before men?
That women think about cheating, like, let's say a guy thinks about cheating 20 times before he actually goes out and does it, where a woman will think about it 100 times before she goes out and does it. The numbers I don't know for sure, but I think that it would be true probably of suicide as well. Like, how many times can you use that as a coping mechanism before you actually go through with it? And the other thing too is, you know, there's a verse that talks about that your mercies are new every morning, or, you know, there's like today might be horrible, but tomorrow might be amazing, and you never know when your amazing tomorrow is going to come, or when something, some event, or some person, or whatever could change something. So, or you could be the change for yourself and then be the change for other people. So I think that, you know, the more times that we use suicide as the coping, the less able we are going to be able to deal with our life and progress to a healthy spot. But so I think that this is a good song, and I think it's an important song, because a lot of times I find that there's so much sympathy for people who are suicidal, or people that have, you know, have gone seriously to that point. There's a lot of sympathy because obviously we don't want people killing themselves. Simultaneously, there has to be some accountability to say, look, you have been, you know, harboring these reckless, dark desires, and now you're up to this point. It's time to start working on those reckless, dark desires. And again, like I said, I know that there are other circumstances and there are other things, but I do think that that's a category.
Holy shit. Okay. Yeah, Webb says, I don't know, but men commit suicide at a much higher rate than women, and almost nobody talks about it.
Yeah, actually, Jordan Peterson was talking about it, and he was saying the reason that is because men are naturally, well, you know how everybody tries to flatten the playing field and say men and women are the same?
Well, everybody doesn't try.
Well, not everybody, okay.
But,
there are groups of people that do that.
There are.
And then he was saying that men are by nature more aggressive, and they need to be because they're the warriors. They're, you know, in this culture, we don't necessarily see it so much, because we don't have invaders coming in and you got to suit up with your spear, and you know what I'm saying?
We are the invaders.
Right. So we don't recognize it as much, but he's saying that men are the aggressors, they're the protectors, they're, you know, they have to do those things, and the women, you know, typically speaking, are raising the children, and they are raising the next group of warriors, the next. So what the woman is doing is vitally important, and one could say the most important job, because they are raising the next generation. And what you raise in your child impacts the next and the next and the next generation, because they're somebody's parent, they're going to be somebody's grandparent, they're going to be somebody's great. So they have a lot of effect. So the mother, she puts all of her time and energy into really raising these kids right, and then the man was out like fighting to protect them, so that way she could raise them, and then they, you know, there's like this working together thing. But he was saying that because men are by nature more aggressive than women, if you're just talking about 10 random men or 100 random men and 100 random women, obviously you can find some women that are more aggressive than some men. But he's saying just as a random number, men are more aggressive than women. Women tend to go toward jobs like nursing, where men will go toward engineering and stuff like that don't result in you talking with people or being with people much. But then he was saying that because men are more aggressive, when they find those points of you're at the end of your rope, they're more likely to commit suicide because there's an aggressive nature to them. Where a woman will be like, she might attempt and then fail because she's not like, she doesn't have that aggression like the man has.
Yeah.
Like a man has.
Yeah.
So it doesn't mean that one party is suffering more than the other. It just means that because by nature they're more aggressive, they end up going through with it. And they tend to pick more like absolutely destructive things to do than women.
So I'm going to do something that I normally don't do. But Lisa asked, Gothmom's talking, so I'm going to try to... I'm gonna break one of my rules.
My gosh!
I generally never answer this question in public. But, and I'm not gonna completely answer it. But anyway, my great grandfather fell into a deep depression after my great grandmother passed away in another tragic event that pushed him to that point. He hung himself. Is he going to hell for it? Okay. So I get this question a lot. Is suicide the unforgivable sin? I generally never answer it in a broad form like this, because I've had a couple bad experiences when people would ask me these deep theological questions and then they made life and death decisions afterwards. So there are two people in the Bible who've committed suicide explicitly. One is an Old Testament guy by the name of Samson, and then in the New Testament we have Judas. Now, Samson is a dude who are you not familiar with that story?
I am. I just never looked at that as a suicide.
Did you think that he would survive?
No.
Did you think that he thought he would survive?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No.
So you had two people that killed themselves in the Bible. What's interesting about Samson is that Samson lived a horrible life. Samson
He really did. He kept breaking all the rules.
Samson was the kind of guy that would be excommunicated in a modern Christian church.
Oh, absolutely.
He couldn't keep his junk in his pants. He was extreme. So I could judge him and go, oh, you can't keep your junk in the pants. But he was also extremely violent, in which case I'm out. And he ended his life by killing himself. And in killing himself, he killed other people. What's interesting...
It is true because Samson, he made a bunch of bad decisions that led him to that place.
Yeah.
Where he had to make that final decition.
Correct. He ended up in that situation.
That's very interesting.
He ended up in that situation, of his own doing, obviously. But what's interesting is, there's a theme in the New Testament where, I always talk about God being that kind of a father. And a father doesn't have an objective view of his children. Mm-hmm. When you're a dad, you always think that your kid is like the greatest. So like I believe that DL Beluga is going to be the president of the United States. I believe my daughter is going to be a screenwriter, and I believe that Johan's going to be some church planner and save thousands of people. I think Orion's going to be a missionary, and Reza is probably going to be a singer in Johan's church. Like like every parent thinks that their kid is like some gonna save whatever, and God is no different. So so here you go. So this guy lives a horrible life. Definitely not a guy that you would look upon as any sort of like hero or role model. And in Christianese, there's this passage called the Hall of Fame of Faith. Now, the Hall of Fame of Faith is found in Hebrews chapter 12. And it starts off with the faith is a substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Mm-hmm. And then it just proceeds to talk about all the the MVPs of the Bible, or the Hall of Famers in the Bible. Okay? And so in the midst of that, we get this very curious phrase. And then what more shall I say? For time would fail me to tell of Gideon, Barak, Samson, Jephthah, and of David and Samuel and the prophets, who through faith, yada, 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 yada. So Samson is mentioned as one of these faith Hall of Famers. So when God looks back at Samson's life, he goes, look at Samson, he's a rock star. But that's just because God is a father. This is not an objective view of Samson's life. Now, I'm being a little bit blasphemous here. But the point that I'm making is that God is truly a father. Mm-hmm. There's another passage in Romans, it's your favorite example of this principle, where he says Abraham never wavered in his faith. And all through the Old Testament, that's all he does is waver in his faith. But God is a father, so he's saying, look at that Abraham. He always believed in me.
Yeah, he creates a disastrous family situation because of his lack of faith. But in the New Testament, they say he never wavered.
we are always going to be more critical of ourselves than God would be, which is really, really interesting. Once you start taking, Christianity seriously, that's one of the first mistakes new Christians do, is they start taking themselves way more seriously than God does. Look, okay, so we've got an example of a guy who committed suicide, and then when God looks back at his life, he says only positive things about it. Okay, all right. Conversely, there's another person who died via suicide, and that was
Judas
Iscariot.
Yeah.
Okay, so Judas Iscariot also left the world via suicide. And in Matthew, so right now everybody's like, oh, that's great. Isn't God so progressive? Okay, so in Matthew 26, verse 24, Jesus says the following about Judas. Okay, now this is gentle Jesus, meek and mild. It's really funny because God the Father is supposedly the bad guy, and Jesus is supposedly the guy that's
the one
like,
that tells him to
hey
chill.
guys, let's be nice. The
Son of Man goes as it is written of him, but woe to that man by whom the Son of Man is betrayed. It would have been better for that man if he had not been born.
Okay, so obviously, and by the way, I used to think, okay, that's it, definitive, he's in hell. Jesus would not say that to him if he was going to end up in heaven. But that's actually an Old Testament phraseology that just means that my life is very difficult. Job said it. The author of the Psalm said it, etc. So I can't definitively say that Judas is in hell. What I can say, though, is that for the vast majority of the Christian church, in and outside of the church, it's pretty much been the majority report that he's not in the good place. Right?
Yeah.
So Samson kills himself. He ends up in the Hall of Fame. Judas kills himself, and he ends up in hell, per se. What's the difference? Well, what that means is that suicide is not the final bar by which God judges a person's eternal destiny. What I can say, though, is that suicide indicates a spiritual rot and dysfunction that should set off alarm bells in the heart of the person who's contemplating doing that action. Because the real question is, are you in relationship with God as your father? And is there rice in there? Do me a favor and bring some rice. Thank you.
And there should be cheese on the top of it too. Can you take those?
Jazakallah.
Thank you.
So the question is, do you have an active relationship with God?
Right.
If you have an active relationship with God, then the Bible says nothing can separate you from the love of God that is found in Christ Jesus our Lord. Which, by the way, Paul says, shall hardship or famine or persecution or nakedness or danger or sword? And he says, no, I'm convinced that in all these things,
we are more than conquerors.
We are more than conquerors through him who loved us. So Paul lists all these things, and death is a category that of in the universe that cannot separate us from the love of Christ. So death can't do it. So if somebody kills you, death doesn't separate you from Christ. And by logical extension, if you use a sword on yourself, and you turning the sword on yourself could then make it so that you're separated from the love of Christ, then when Paul says, shall trouble or hardship or persecution or famine or nakedness or danger or sword, you'd have to say, well, yeah, Paul, there are instances in which a sword could separate us from the love of Christ, because if I turn the sword on myself, then I would be, if a person automatically goes to hell if they kill themselves. Do you see the logic? Mm-hmm. So what I would say is, anybody who's truly in Christ can never be separated from Christ. However, suicidal ideation and all that indicates that the relationship between the person and Christ is not in a good standing. But it is not for us to definitively say that means the person is completely out or never had a relationship with God.
Right.
What I would say is the scripture tells us very clearly, the Lord is gracious and compassionate, slow to anger and rich in love. The Lord is good to all. He has compassion on all that he has made. Okay? There's a vast difference between a person having an entire career of being a horror. Let's change the sin to, let's say, alcoholism. Because consistent drunkenness is a sin, according to, Paul in Galatians. So there's a big difference between a guy who's a constant drunk for 50 years, beats the shit out of his wife and kids, loses all his jobs, robs banks and shit because he's poor. There's a vast difference between that guy and a 16-year-old kid, right? Who, you had a friend like this where you used to work with a kid, and then he went with his friends one week and he died of alcohol poisoning. Okay? There's a vast difference between person A, who's been an ossified drunk for 50 years and makes hell on earth for everybody around him, versus a 16-year-old kid who's like, all right, guys, and then he dies in a drunken mess. Now, a lot of Christians say, oh, see what it says about the drunkard. That guy isn't...
Yeah.
That's saying that God doesn't have the ability to judge between the two. That's why the Bible says don't judge. When it says don't judge, it's not saying don't say whether or not an action is good or bad. What it's talking about is you don't know a person's eternal destiny because you don't have access to all the information that God does. So on the outside, we would have said that Judas was a stand-up guy and he really loved Jesus, and that Nicodemus was a coward who wasn't a true follower. And if you were to say, okay, you got one guy that's hanging out with Jesus in broad daylight, and when Jesus is getting the rock thrown at him, he's getting the rocks thrown at him. You got another guy who won't see Jesus in public and will only see him at night. which one is going to betray Jesus? You would say, oh, well, Nicodemus.
at night,
Well, as
yeah.
it turns out, no, it was Judas that betrayed Jesus, and Nicodemus, who ended up standing up for Jesus. As a matter of fact, the only person that remotely tried to stand up for Jesus at the time was supposedly the coward Nicodemus. So the point is, we don't know a person's relationship with God, so we can't say, oh, that guy killed himself, he's in hell. I don't know what kind of relationship they had with God, Lisa. So what I would say is, if your grandfather or you or whoever had a relationship with God through Jesus Christ, then there is nothing, hardship, persecution, famine, nakedness, danger, sword. Nothing can separate your granddad or whoever he was from the love of Christ. Nothing. However, people can work to push off God's promptings, because God prompts you and says, hey, let's work together, let's relate, let's hang out, you know.
I mean,
and if
one
you,
could argue that this channel is one of those for everybody listening. So anybody that's hearing this right now, this is one of the promptings. Now, I don't know how many other ones you've had in your life, but this certainly is one of them right now.
Yeah. And so that's how to answer that question. It's ultimately about a person's relationship to Jesus and where they are in that regard, and we don't have enough information to make that determination. I'm talking, and I'm very radical with this. I don't know where Hitler is. I don't know where bin Laden is. I don't know where any of those people are. It's just like God to find some way to save a guy like bin Laden. I know everybody's got judgments for bin Laden. I was pretty disappointed when he was killed. I mean, it was just, what I was saying was, if the SEALs find them first, fine, but we should have a bunch of missionaries looking for this guy, right? In my mind, it was a race between the missionaries and the SEALs, and whoever got to him first.
Did you hear of any missionaries looking for him?
I mean, there were people that were. Yeah. Actually.
Oh. Well, that's our people. So.
I actually talked to a guy that actually talked to bin Laden, actually.
Oh, nice.
And he did. He threw out the Jesus stuff. And
he
bin
did?
Laden, yeah, he was like, well, I mean, we believe in Isa, which is a Muslim, so.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Is what I'm saying. I can give you guys principles, right? I can give you principles. But as far as like definitively saying your grandfather's in heaven, you're going to see him again, or your grandfather in hell, you better stay away, I can't do that, because don't judge goes both ways, right? I can't judge the person, but what I can do is I can judge God. And what I can say is, my judgment of God is that he's gracious, compassionate, slow to anger, rich in love, and that his default is to save people.
Right.
God will find ways to say, all right, that's enough, you're in.
Yep.
He manufactures shit, and he'll find a way to get you in.
Yep.
If there's like 0.5% of you to get in, he's going to get you.
Well, I think that we're making this a very long review, but you remember that story where he was like, well, what if there's 50 righteous people? Will you save the city for 50?
Yeah.
And God was like, all right, yeah. And then he's like, well, what about 30? What about 20?
Yeah.
And he like got down to like the smallest
10.
of numbers.
Sure, mashallah.
So he's like, so it just shows the nature of God, and that's Old Testament where he's supposedly mean.
Oh yeah,
and
he's supposedly crazy Old Testament.
Just give me a little bit, just make an effort in the right direction.
There's this book called Lamentations, and it's literally just a book about lament.
Yep.
Okay, it's a very depressing book, but it has, and you guys know how I get down, but it has one of the best verses of all time where it says that he does not willingly afflict the sons and daughters of Adam.
Right.
And what they translate it as willingly, and I wish they didn't, because the term is malevo in Hebrew, and it means from his heart.
Oh, that's right.
He does it from his heart.
I forgot about that.
Afflict the children of men. So, and I was talking to Dorian about this. If you go to the book of Hosea, God's like, you know what? I'm gonna fuck y'all up. You guys talking shit. You guys doing all this idolatry. I'm gonna send these people. We're gonna raise your town to the ground. How about that, bitches? Right? Mm-hmm. Literally, the very next chapter, he goes, yeah, but how could I do that? Like, how could I get? I'll forgive you guys.
Right.
But
That's
God
exactly why
God
Jonah didn't want to go.
He doesn't just pass out like willy-nilly forgiveness. Jesus had to be brutalized in order for that shit to happen. Then you got silly people standing in judgment of the Almighty saying, how could he let that happen to Jesus? Why couldn't he just forgive us? Because we have things like holocausts and abortions and
Pedophiles.
kidnapping little 5-year-old girls and violating them before you send them off into eternity. God can't just go, oh yeah. Lisa, your grandfather was a horrible sinner, sis. I'm sorry, he was. And so are you, and so am I, and so is a 2-year-old in my crib. And that's why Jesus had to be brutalized the way that he was brutalized. But mashallah, he rose from the dead. So that's my best take at it. I obviously have a deep love for people that have been in that situation, because you guys know I've got at least 2 family members that left the planet that way. Mm-hmm. So I've done a lot of hard and deep thinking about it. Theologically, I told myself, I want to look this shit in the face, bro. I don't care. You know what I mean? And that's a conclusion I've come to. And I am the more kids that I have, the more I default to God the Father specifically, because you just see him over and over again finding a way. You know, this passage in the Quran, it says Allah laughs at those he's had to drag into Jannah. Allah's like, what the fuck? Like, I had to trick you to get to heaven? What the fuck is wrong with you? I'm not a Muslim, but I do believe that part of the Quran is true. All right. The song is a 10 for me.
Oh, me too.
It sounded like Tool.
Yeah.
And it engendered a really good conversation.
And I think it's good. It's power, and I think that it's positive in a way.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Don't be like Trent Reznor. Yes. That's the moral of the story.
Well, I mean, I think, you know, to kind of bring it back, I think if you do have a friend, right, that you're trying to support, songs like this are important, because,
yeah.
But I would say it doesn't necessarily mean you have to communicate this to your friend. You could just listen to this and go, why are you so...
Yeah. Yeah, well...
Anyway, there you go, dear listener. Vin out.
Sorry out.
Gone. Holy shit, guys.
Well, that was song 2, folks.
Shout out to Ashley Winchester. All right, guys. What the hell was that? 2 minutes. 2 minutes. But you know, Lisa's an OG.
I'll beg if I have to. Oh.
Lisa's an OG, so I had to answer that question, man. I had to answer it.
I wish we could, Ashley, but we are in the middle of a DJ stream, and
we're in the middle of a DJ stream, Shlee.
Yep, so Anthony comes first.
You know, like we had this friend named Ashley. We used to call her Ashes. And other people call her Ash, but nobody ever says Shlee. Mm-hmm. What's up, Shlee?
I mean,
for a nickname.
Yeah, it's weird.
So listen, where's Shorty?
You calling her Shlee?
I would call her Shlee.
You know what it sounds like?
I'm gonna call her Shlee for the rest of the night, yo.
You know when you do it and you go Shloink?
Yeah,
that's what it reminds me of. Shlee.
Don't be mad, Winchester. It's a term of endearment when you get a man. As a matter of fact, you got a nickname like immediately.
Yeah,
You've never seen it before.
That's true. Welcome. Welcome, Shlee. Okay. All right, so the next song on our list is, you want to start the thing and then I'll read it?
Yeah. Start what thing?
The next song right here. So it's Seether, Driven Under. Because I got to read. We got to start the review. What's happening?
We're going to we're going to do the commercial?
Isn't that what we usually do?
Yeah, but what are you asking me?
Oh, I'm just a little excited about the songs, and so I was jumping your 40 seconds. That's what's happening. I wanted you to start it so I could read the thing and we could hear the next one.
All right.
That's what's happening.
Seether is on the way, and I know it says 33 seconds, but we're going to go right into it.
Bye now.
I'm Vin.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. It says 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at instory@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
Ah! My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village. Facebook.com/VinandSori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 here and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Hey, dear listener.
All right.
Here we are.
And if you buy our merch, send us a picture at vinandsori@gmail.com so we
Yes.
can add you to
So
our
we
video.
So we can exploit your person.
Right. For our benefit. And for yours.
Speaking of which,
Yep. Okay, so the next song on our list.
Kai,
We have...
we know, bro. We know. We talked about that last song. We got you, bro.
Okay,
I
so...
just don't want him to keep sending us
I know,
money.
I know.
You know what I'm
Keep
saying?
your money.
I mean, we want your money.
Send your money. But keep it, but send it. But don't.
But keep it.
Anyway, so... Seether, Driven Under. We have a
Yes.
DJ tonight. It is, you guys know, the Lone Rider. What happened? I thought it was the Lone Rider. Okay.
This handsome beast right here.
Yeah, right here with the
Huh?
beard. The beard. So he is our DJ tonight, and he is picking all the songs. The last two have been crazy, sparked some interesting discussion because we listened to A Perfect Circle, The Outsider. Now we're about to go into Seether, Driven Under. He says, so I'm a huge fan of bands' earlier versions of songs/demos when they're more raw and unrefined. And this is one of those great original songs that's way better than the redone version. P.S. The graphic on the video is the original band's name.
Oh.
So we're about to do Seether, Driven Under, and...
That's so funny.
What?
It's literally the only video that I don't have downloaded in
that's nice.
In that entire thing. So just keep talking
this
to the
is
people.
the third. This is either the third or the fourth DJ stream by the Lone Rider, and actually, I've enjoyed every single one of his streams.
Lone Rider, like, whether it's like mainstream poppy bands or like shit you've never heard of before, and then the way he does the mixes in the order.
Yep.
Like,
I have two
professional.
favorites, and he's one of my favorites. On the streams and what they've come to be. What's the matter?
That guy's. I've got two favorites too.
Okay.
DJ Franco is a big one for me. DJ Mike is a big one. It's a big
so
one
funny.
in my heart. Hey, listen, I'm allowed.
Yes, we're all allowed to have our own, but we have to figure out a way to do an actual like rating system so people can, because it can't just be us choosing the DJ of the month.
Why?
Us? Just us choose it?
channel.
Well, we don't agree.
Well, that's true. That's what we should do. We should say if we disagree, then we should put it up on a poll at Patreon, and then we'll let the audience decide between my pick versus your pick. So I have a pick, you have a pick, and then we won't tell them what's what because everybody's going to vote for yours if they know that it's you.
No, we're not going to say who voted for what. We're going to say there's this stream and there's this stream. Which one's better?
There's this stream and there's this stream. So tell us.
Okay.
Tell us what you want.
So here we are. We're about to do Seether.
Talk to the people because it's going to take a second.
Vin's not ready. Not even close. Okay. I'll come back. Let's see. The loner. Wow, such sweet words from you guys, Tony said. Yeah, Tony, the thing is, I give people 3s if I don't like their songs. So if I'm saying it, I'm not lying.
Soraya does.
That's the one thing.
She will 3 your ass.
Yeah,
bro.
I will. Well, I gave a negative something one time.
I should get you a shirt. I will 3 your ass.
Yes! That'd be great. I would like that.
Fuck you and your band, nigga.
The other thing, oh shoot. I was just gonna say something. What about the 3? Oh, so I started this new thing with the kids. So like we have this code where I do not lie to them. Like I don't like if there's something that's kind of like I'm just not going to answer them. And generally I just make it look like I'm busy and that's how I don't answer them. And then there's so many people in our house that it just moves things right along. But anyway, I decided that, Tina, email us about that. So anyway, I decided that what I'm going to do is I say, ask me no questions, I'll tell you no lies. Because they ask me questions all the time about stuff that it's just not for kids. And some of them are getting very annoyed with that phrase.
What?
Ask me no questions, I'll tell you no lies.
Oh.
So then it's like a way of telling them, we're not talking about this. Leave it alone. So it's cute. I like doing different little funny things with them. Anyway, let's see.
Yes, we've done softer genres. We've done Imagine by John Lennon.
Oh, Franco was very...
Sean is hilarious.
Yeah.
You see that shit?
Yep. Franco said it meant a lot to him that you liked his stream.
Who, Franco?
Yeah.
That last stream was tight.
Yeah.
I just think Ben
I
Webb's...
told you he liked it.
Yeah. It's just Ben Webb's influence. Like, Ben Webb is probably one of the most influential people in our channel. Everybody just, like, felt like Ben that day.
I know.
There are a couple times I want to stop someone and say, you motherfuckers have no idea what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But whatever. I didn't care. It's for me anyway. I'm listening. I'm getting the enjoyment. I don't care if anybody hears it. I don't know how Franco feels about it, but I don't care how anybody feels about it. I like the shit. Fuck it.
Oh, Daniel said, did you see the email I sent you with the vid where your vid called Sorry Dumb for her score?
Is Montgomery in the house?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, fuck Dan Montgomery. Ban him.
He's a child.
Ben Dan Montgomery.
Stop
Ban him.
it. Look, there's Ben saying fuck sorry. Ooh, I was going to say something. Ooh, it's coming in hot tonight.
Type fuck
I'm going to
sorry
just
for
stop
Web
right
Week.
there.
I'd like to do a stream, but all songs that I've chosen will be blocked. Wait, say it again. Huh?
Oh, you have multiples.
Oh, yeah.
But then I decided I won't be like your friend E.
This is gonna be. And look. Amy gave Ben a warning.
Yep,
for that
Ben
shit.
warning.
Got a warning. Hey,
Warning.
Ben. Oh, I did have it. It's right there, driven under. I had it the whole time.
You had it the whole time. Well, I guess
We'd be
were,
like in the
we were
review
meant
right
to.
now.
Yep, we were meant to talk about that.
Yeah, we were meant to talk about it. Okay, guys.
Ask me the
this
questions. I'll
is,
sell you no fries.
and that's why she's gonna edit all this shit. It's gonna be wonderful. All right. Driven on. Was it the perfect circle? No.
This is Seether.
Have mercy on my soul. I'm but a child. I love this kid.
Okay, wait. Did I read what he said about it? I should probably just read it again.
It's Seether Driven Under. Okay. All right, guys. So this is Seether Driven Under.
Check out the graphic.
Let's go.
Oh, that sounds good. Oh, I like the sound. Woo! It feels good in my soul, that ring.
It's very whimsy.
Do you think I'm faking when I'm lying next to you? Do you think that I am blind? Nothing else for me to lose. Must be something on your mind.
What are they saying?
I didn't know exactly what he was saying in that chorus when he was like,
And I can't find any lyrics that tell us.
yeah,
Because it
must not be that pertinent to the song. I don't know.
If you know, let us know in the comment section.
What's he saying?
Yeah, I don't know what he said, but it looked like it was the part when it was going to be. Then she told me she had a gun. It sounded like she used it once before on him. Then she told me she had a gun. It sounded like she used it once before on him.
Yeah, it sounds like no pain is what he's saying.
Yeah.
This is a demo version, guys. This is a demo. That means before they got signed, it's kind of like our shit. Like
Yeah.
I mean, ours is like in a demo format right now. It's not even, you know what I'm saying? So that was a demo of them. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah.
I love that riff. That's like a staple rock riff that and everybody's right. That the fuzz on that was insane. They just cranked that shit up to like 8. I don't really like that effect on any of the fuzz on the pedals. Like,
no, I never like it when we do it here.
it's because I'm not good enough to make it sound good.
Oh,
Like, there's a way to make it. It's like a chef that can
nope, that makes total
you can
sense.
give them anything.
Yep.
I'm not good enough to make fuzz
I
sound
see.
like it works. It works
I see.
here. Somebody, the guy that used to show me stuff around guitar, he was like, yeah, you just don't want to play in such a way that people know that you're using a pedal. That was his thing. People shouldn't know you're using a pedal. It's like, it should be like salt or whatever.
I agree.
And I thought that, I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of, but he was kind of like a purist. So like, he was always like on a natural sound. Mm-hmm. And like, it was funny because him and his buddy, they would have these arguments about pure metal.
Like acoustic
purity.
and electric?
Well,
or what do you mean by pure?
Well, so he didn't like any of the effects pedals. I love effects pedals. I love distortion. I love all that shit. Like, I love it because it's you're using the same keys, but you've seen it. Like, I was like, okay, blah. Okay, and now
And how does it sound here? Yeah.
So I love that shit. But Sean wasn't like that. He wanted to because his thing was like the guy from what do you call that band? Rage Against the Machine, Tom Morello. He's like, Tom Morello's able to make all these crazy sounds, but that's because he mastered his instruments. He didn't use a lot of pedals. And then his buddy was like, yeah, but you do realize that guitar is an amplification and all the it's already distorted. You're already not using the pure. I mean, the pure instrument is just the acoustic. Mm-hmm. And so he was like, yeah, but we're talking about metal purity, blah, blah. It was just very, very interesting. It was just weird being in the room with them because they were so good. They were both just, Sean was the best, in my opinion. Sean was the best, local guy here, in my opinion. But, they were just so good. And so they're arguing and they're like, and they're like, yeah, no, you don't know what you're talking about. I was like,
that must have been a fun conversation to watch.
Oh, I was just watching it, just laughing because I'm like, this shit is crazy. Because I thought Sean was like a guitar guy. I still do.
Wait, are they brothers? Were they brothers?
No, they weren't brothers. No.
Wouldn't that be so cute though to see your sons doing that?
Yeah.
My gosh.
It would. This song is really good though.
Okay, so somebody said the chorus lyrics, Ian, you'll bleed for me, you'll see you'll bleed. Ooh,
okay.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. That works.
Are
That works.
you wearing a new smell? Something smelled nice. Okay, I will say at the beginning of the song, it sounded like they had some acoustic in there too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It started off. People were saying that reminded them of Everlong.
Oh, I really liked it.
The shape of the chord.
It does.
The shape of the chord is very similar. So
It does.
I'm assuming the progression is too, and the stroke count. But okay. So, do you think I'm faking when I'm lying next to you? Do you think I'm blind? There's nothing left for me to lose. Must be something on your mind, something lost and left behind. Do you know I'm faking now? Do you know I'm faking when I'm lying next to you? Do you know that I'm blind to everything you ever do? Must be something on your mind, something lost for me to find. Do you know I'm faking? So that's really interesting. The genuineness of the relationship is the first thing that they're looking at.
Yeah, I know.
Wow, what's going on there?
Well, it seems like there's something really wrong with her, and he sees it. But if they, like, he's saying, do you think I'm faking when I'm lying next to you? Do you think that I'm blind, that there's nothing left for me to lose? Must be something on your mind, something lost and left behind. Do you know that? It kind of seems to me like there's been a lot of things that have happened, and he sees all of these issues, and he's laying there next to her, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense if you were to look at it like all this shit's gone on, and he's still laying in the bed next to her. And then so he's saying, look, do you think like I'm faking, or that he's blind and he doesn't see the stuff? But obviously he did see what she was all about. But then at this point I get a little lost because the chorus says something different here than over there. So
well,
I don't
the
know, is he
gun,
scared
the
of
gun
her?
lyrically here is probably a metaphor. But if you go back there, so it looks to me like this guy's in a relationship with a person who's taking him for granted, and he's at the end of his rope with her. So he's saying, "Oh, you think that this is just going to continue perpetually? Like that's not going to continue, bro." So he's saying, "Do you think I'm faking when I'm lying next to you? Do you think that I'm blind? There's nothing left for me to lose. Must be something on your mind, something lost and left behind. Do you know I'm faking now? Do you know I'm faking when I'm lying next to you? Do you know that I am blind to everything you ever do?" So she's lying. Must be something on your mind, something lost for me to find. So she's living some lie, and he hasn't confronted it yet. So he's saying, "Do you know that I'm faking when I'm lying next to you?" In the sense of, do you know that I know that you've got some secret that you're not telling me, and that we're just doing this charade because I'm not confronting you on this issue? Mm-hmm. I think is what he's saying. And then they left this out of the song, but it kind of still works. Then she told me she had a gun. It sounded like she'd used it once before on him. She told me she had a gun, blah, 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 blah. So I think that's a way of saying that she'd done this before. This is a pattern. And the gun then would be the power that she has over the dudes in her relationship, yada, yada, yada. That's what it looks like to me.
Turn that off, please. Wow.
Turn it off?
Off, yeah. I'm not going to do it.
Okay. So
wow.
That's what it appears to be saying to me. The gun thing, it looked like they just some producer or whatever said the gun thing is not going to work. That's kind of like a Kurt Cobain type line. You know, like he's singing a song and then there's a song, I swear I don't have a gun. It's like, what the hell? Mm-hmm. Where did that come from? Mm-hmm. But I feel like Kurt Cobain could get away with that.
Probably.
You know what I'm saying? Like Kurt can get away with like random shit. You know what I mean? Like, holy
Jeez,
moly.
babe. Oh, that's why I wanted it off. I just felt like something like that was going to happen.
It's okay. But yeah, it's fucking, that's hot. That works. It works. At least it works.
And you had turned it up to 1,000 degrees.
There goes my flesh.
I kind of would like to hear the next version of it.
The big one, yeah.
Yeah, because look, it says we have to succumb to the feelings we can never face.
At that right there,
I need you. I breathe you. I can't go through this all again. So it seems like he has like a real, and maybe Tony doesn't want those lyrics brought into it because it was like kind of like the next song from it, but they're going through a really bad thing. It doesn't seem like she's that great for him, but he's saying that he really, really needs her. But at the same time, he can't go through it again with her.
These people, they keep... these people. I just think people in general continuously confuse codependency with love. That's not the same thing. So codependency is just that. It's about dependency, and dependency is about survival. And from my vantage point, there's not much romance in saying, I need you to survive. Like, that's not romantic.
Oh, yeah. Well,
but you'll notice he says,
there's two ways you
I
can say
need
it.
you, I breathe you.
Yeah.
Well, that is a survival statement. Because if you can't breathe, you can't live.
Well, I mean, there's a romantic way of saying it, and there's also a codependent way of saying it.
But
the song dictates.
What I'm saying is that there is no non-codependent way to say that. That's my argument.
I disagree.
I don't believe that that's healthy at all.
I totally disagree. I mean, what if you're intimate together?
You need another human being to survive.
Listen, it's kind of like hyperbole, like poetic language. So if you say, like, no, he doesn't say, I need you to breathe. He says, I breathe you.
After he says,
I need you, I breathe you. That doesn't necessarily mean codependency. It can be, you need the person in your life, you love them. It's not that you need them to survive.
I breathe you?
I breathe you, like in a romantic sense. Like when you're close to somebody and you breathe them in, like their scent, and you take them in. I breathe you. Like, it could be a romantic thing. I'm saying that there are two ways to interpret that phrase, but if you interpret the phrase with the context of the song, then no, it's codependency in the song. I agree. But I'm saying You could say, I breathe you in a very, like, romantic way that's not a codependent way. It's just...
Yeah, but he's saying he needs her to breathe.
No, he said, I need you. Then he said, I breathe you. Yes, in this song, it's codependency. But I think
that's what I just said.
No, you said that there's no way that somebody could say that without it being codependency. And I'm saying that's wrong. You can say that without it being codependency.
Okay, we'll just agree to disagree.
We will.
I just think that this guy, and he's confusing. That's what I'm saying. He's confusing that with love because she's doing something that he can't confront her over.
Yeah, I'm saying in this song, it's codependency.
Because he breathes this girl, she can do whatever she wants to him. Because he's completely dependent on her for his own survival. Mm-hmm. And people, I'm just going to say it, in my experience, it appears that women take phrases like that as romantic phrases. And to me, all I see are red flags. Because I'll tell you what,
babe!
I don't want that for my daughter. I'll tell you that right now.
How can you not see?
If some dude says, I need you, I breathe you to Zoe and all that, I'd say run. Far and fast. That's what I would say.
It depends. It depends on how he says it. Like I said, if he's like literally he needs her, he can't survive without her and he's all dependent on her, that's not healthy. But if they're, they're in love, they're spending time together, and he's like, I need you, and then he says, I breathe you, and he like smells her. I think that's great.
You see, the Everlong lyric, I'm good with. Funnily enough, in Everlong, there's a lyric, breathe out so I can breathe you in. The issue is that she has her own breath, and he has his, and he's saying, hey, I want some of that. That's fine, but I need you, I breathe you is not that. That's not the same thing. That's a completely different universe. So if a dude says this to Zoe, I'd say, well, how long have you been together? And what the fuck does he mean by that phrase? But honestly, I'd say, okay, that's a sweet one. But this shit right here, I'd say run. And if you're a dude and
every breath you take, every move you make, I'll be watching you.
You're a dude and some girl is saying that shit to you, run. Don't do it. Well, I know how some of y'all are going to get down, but trust me, don't do it because then you're going to be obligated. Just run. That shit is not healthy. I'm telling you. Go ahead. What were you
Agree to
saying?
disagree, babe. I
Yeah.
think that there's a codependent, I'll say it again, I think there's a codependent way of saying it, and I also think that there's a romantic sort of, not that you can't live without the person, but that need that you have to be with someone, to be beside someone, and to breathe them in. Like, I don't think that there's a psychotic way of doing that, or there's a codependent way of doing that, and there's an unhealthy way.
Well, what
but
do
I
you
don't
think people default to?
Probably, well, I guess it depends on
Why
the
do you think that I'll Be Watching You song is so popular?
Moving right along.
Like that song, I remember the first time I heard those lyrics because I first
loved
heard it
it.
from Biggie because they remixed it.
Did they
They'll
make
turn
fun
it
of it?
into "I'll Be Missing You" after Big died. So they took the beat and everything and the chorus and everything and they just changed it for Big.
Really?
Yeah. So that's the first time I heard that song, and then my brother was like, there's an original. So I looked at the lyrics of the original because we're in New York. I'm looking at the lyrics. I'm like, yo, this thing, he's a fucking stalker, bro. This shit is unhealthy. I was like 14 years old. Nah, Big died. I was like, I don't know, like 8, 9. It doesn't matter. Like I can't do the whatever. But I'm like, this shit is unhealthy, bro. I don't want some broad stalking me like that. Like, but you're saying that you thought it was romantic. And you still think it's romantic. I think as part of you, the technical side of you knows that it's unhealthy. But if I took you like off camera and shit, and like if somebody like, yo, sorry, tell us how you really, you'd be like, it's all right. You'd say it's romantic.
Oh, I didn't say I wouldn't say that, but I would say that. Well, wait a minute. I literally just said the lyrics to that song and then I forgot it. He said, "I know every move you make,
Every
I'll be
step
watching."
you take, every breath you take, blah blah blah. I'll be watching you.
Yeah,
like, that shit is
So you don't have some nights where you're watching me?
Not your every step. Like you took a whole bunch of steps at the pool today. I didn't see a damn thing of what you did, and I was happy.
Well, maybe they're in a certain space.
Yeah, people need space.
No, maybe they're in a certain space where he's watching all the moves she makes.
Yeah, she broke up with him. That was the space that they're in.
Nah, babe.
Stalker. All right, I'm gonna give this song.
Why are you so dishonest about this?
What are you talking about? I'm dishonest about what? Say it again. What are you talking about? I've been pretty consistent about this from the inception of the channel.
Inception of the channel. You know what? You know how we laugh sometimes about the way that Dorian phrases things?
Yeah?
He gets it from you.
What are you talking about? You lost me here.
I've been like this since the inception of the channel.
Yeah, but what am I not being honest about?
You're not being honest about the fact that if somebody's just saying like everything you do, I'll be watching you, and it's like this creepy sort of whatever. But then there's, okay, what if they're married, they're hanging out, and it's an intimate time for them, and she walks to the door and he's watching everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are times
You're saying
where that's not psychotic.
Your Grace, I never said it was psychotic
Or
whatever,
whatever.
admire your wife's body.
You're
But to follow
my
someone.
God, you're taking all the romantic songs and making
watch
it.
someone.
He didn't say he friggin' followed her all over the fucking city.
Every step you take, every move you make,
Yeah, babe. You think
every word you say.
Yeah, I
I'll
think
be
it means
watching you.
in that time, like where they're being intimate. I don't think he's watching her every step she takes. How boring would that be, too?
What do you give the song?
10. I loved it.
8.9.
8.9.
Because it's unhealthy.
Oh God, babe, it's romantic
I was
too.
gonna give
No.
it a 9.
This one's not.
I was gonna give it a 9.3 until you.
This one's
you
not.
started with your nonsense.
This one's not like super romantic because I think it's unhealthy. This one, I do think this one's about codependency. I'm just saying. End the song.
So this is sorry. She'll argue something passionately, and at the end she'll be like, "Yeah, you were right the whole time." That's
Well,
what
I
she
didn't
does.
say you were right the whole time. I said in this song,
Actually,
I
I'm
can
going
see
to
it.
change my thing. I'm going to go with BC's rating, 8.3.
All right, let's end this before he goes any lower.
Vin out.
Sorry, out.
Count.
Look, Vin is judgmental AF. LOL.
You are,
Babe.
You are.
No.
You are insane.
No, you.
You are crazy.
You're just trying to strip the romance out of everything on this. There are romantic ways of saying it, and there are psychotic ways of saying it.
There is no romantic way to say, I'm going to watch every move you make. God himself.
Okay.
God himself doesn't even say that
Okay,
shit
well,
in the Bible.
Well, the next time we're hanging out, don't watch all my moves.
And there's Tasco.
Just close your eyes.
There's
don't watch
Tasco.
all my moves.
And there you go, giving these people. You got bedweb in the house, so you just this is what I'm saying. Like you create these situations. It's 100% a creepy song. Emphasis on the word every. Sorry is reading what she wants. He never says every time we're in the bedroom. Thank you.
Tasco.
Thank you.
He's not literally watching every move she makes. Do you think he's watching her get her groceries?
It's a
use the bathroom.
It's a known stalker song. Literally, everybody knows that's must obey the rules. That's a known stalker song, and this guy by his name should know. That is a known.
What's
stalker
a known
song.
stalker song?
The song we were talking about. I'll be watching you every step you take, every breath you make. Whatever.
It's a known stalker song. It's a romantic song for people.
Sting said it was about a stalker.
Is that the guy that wrote it?
Is that? Yo, I'm dead. We just got to go straight to commercial. Holy shit. I'm Ben.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sorry says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at itsorry@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is a community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord,
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
and they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/VinandSorry. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sorry and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch. Buy our merch. Here we are in the DJ stream for the Lone Rider. We are on the 4th song, and the song is Spineshank Smothered. And he said, I originally chose a different song of theirs, but it didn't feel right. But I still needed that Spineshank new metal sound, so chose this one instead.
New metal, yes.
I love that. I love it when I get a feeling about something and then I switch it because of a feeling. Those things always tend to work out good.
This is Spineshank.
Okay, not to be weird,
God,
but if
no.
I play cards or something, and I have to pick from 2 piles, I can kind of feel like some warmth coming from one pile, and so I take that one. I don't cheat. He cheats. I don't cheat.
Definitely new metal riff.
The black and cold reminds me of all the distance we have crossed. And if your darkness blinds me, I could never be more lost. But I'm not the one who seeks your protection. I'm not the one to share the skies. And I'm not the
Okay, listen.
You
What?
you would have really loved the new metal era.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm sad for you that.
I'm sad for you.
No, I really am, because you would have loved that shit. Because the thing
I
about the new
know.
metal era was that there were 9,000 bands. So we could have gone to a show like every week, especially in New York.
That would have been fun.
We'd have been a show every week, bro. That shit would have been tight. It'd have been tight. You would have loved. If you'd have caught me middle of junior year in high school, you would have loved it. You would have loved it, because it was just straight. It was fun every day. You know, nobody. You know, I was done with all the. You know, whatever. But yeah, you would have loved that shit. You'd have loved it. But here we are in Maine.
Here we are. Pretty sure this is a song about pregnancy.
Ridiculous. Go ahead.
Just
continue.
kidding. That's how it feels. You push from the inside when the baby's starting to get bigger. Anyway, yeah, another. I don't think this is going well for these people.
Somebody he's mentioned Nothing Face. I saw Nothing Face live at what do you call it?
Nothing Face.
Yeah. Such a good.
That's a funny band name.
That's a good band name. That was the other thing. There were some really good band names. You had Mudvayne, you had Nothing Face, you had some really good bands.
Face.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. Actually, babe, break down the lyrics, because literally all I could think about was how it could relate as a pregnancy song.
Really?
Yes.
The black and coal reminds me of all
Not
the
that
distance
part.
we've crossed, and if the darkness finds me, I could never be more lost. But I'm not the one who seeks your protection. I'm not the one to share the disguise, and I'm not the one who reeks of rejection. I'm not the one to tear the same way twice. So I think what he's saying is, you're the one doing that stuff.
Right.
You're the one seeking my protection. And I'm not going to share in your disguise. I'm not going to wear the mask. And I'm not the one who reeks of rejection. I'm not the one to tear the same way twice. So I think what's happening is he's in a relationship with this girl. Surprise, surprise. She's taking her past issues out on him while simultaneously looking to him for protection, is what it looks like. You push from the inside smothered. You push from the inside smothered. You push from the inside out. So that's probably his girl reacting to the fact that now that he's actually succeeded in his dreams, she's trying to like hold on to him now. So it turns out that she's smothering him, is what it looks like. Here, all your walls surround me. They're closing in. They've blocked my sight. The violence around me found me when I could not fight. So I just think that I'm not taking the term violence there literally. Mm-hmm. Just like I'm not taking the term walls literally. Mm-hmm. I just think it's she's reacting to losing him by smothering him, checking his phones every 2 seconds. What was that girl saying to you? Blah, 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 blah. That's what it looks like to me. And that's why he's saying, I'll never win with you.
Yeah.
Because the fact of the matter is, with a lot of these rock stars, that's the centerpiece of their dream. And they usually have a lady with them or a dude with them or whatnot. But the fact of the matter is, there's a big fear a lot of the times in the girl, especially if it's a small town thing. You're going to get big and leave. And the fact of the matter is, it's mostly true, because it's a young men that are, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And it's true most of the time, unless it's a you type person, in which case, you know what I'm saying? Like, obviously you'd come along and you'd have your own thing or whatever. But I think it's a real, and then it becomes this very constricting. And I've been in relationships like that where the person's like constantly hounding you, and it's difficult. It's very, very difficult to be in that kind of relationship.
I know that I've gone through phases where I've been very overly clingy.
It's not. I don't think it's about being clingy. It's about being possessive.
I'm trying not to use such extreme language about my own self.
It's about being. It's just about.
Have you been in more relationships than just the one with me that was like that?
Well, I mean,
because I wasn't not aware of that.
Sure.
Really?
Yeah. It just didn't come up a lot because she was always worried I was going to die.
Yeah.
So it was like,
yeah.
Oh, you just got back from this, blah, blah, blah.
Well, I have him now, so.
We heard what happened, blah, blah, blah. Are you okay? Type of situation.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm good. Like, so there was, and I mean, it's really interesting. She seemed to be more like aware of the fact that she was a massively attractive person. I don't know. because like some of the people that you'll be jealous of, I'll be like, I'll sit and I'll look at the picture sometime. I'm like, what the fuck is she jealous of? You know what I'm saying? So it's weird because
Well,
I don't really have a paradigm from a person that's more attractive than you. I'm not just saying that because
I'm your wife.
I'm not just saying. I mean, it's
Well, I think that with me, like, I think that people have different things that are like currency for them and things that are very important to them. And I mean, beauty is not super important to you. Like, you think that I'm beautiful, but that's not your highest top priority. You have other things that are much more important to you than beauty. And so I think that that's probably why, like, you know, because once you marry someone, like, you see all of their, like, sides. You know what I mean? Like, and I think before, you know, when we were just friends, there were thoughts that you had of me that I felt, whoa, I thought I did something. Because literally I bent this cord at the same time the light went out. I'm like, oh no. So, like, there's, you know, if you look at, I can't remember where I was going with that. When different, you know, different currencies. So so when in a relationship, you see all the sides of someone, and there were ideas that you had of me previously when we were just friends that were not, that looks cool. They were not, they weren't accurate, but I liked it because they fit more of my ideal of myself. And so even though I knew that you misjudged me in a positive way, I just let you misjudge me.
Yeah, I disagree with that. I don't think that my perception of you was off. I think everything that I perceived was true. So I don't, you're saying I overestimated you. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying,
you're saying I thought better of you than what you really were, and
I
you
think
allowed me to have that because you wanted you
I always wanted
enjoyed
to
the
be
idea of me perceiving you that way.
I don't think that you thought I was better than I actually was. I think that you didn't know I was as bad as I was.
That's the same thing.
No, it's not, because you have the good
Thinking
parts
that
about
you're
yourself.
better than.
No, you have good parts about yourself and you have bad parts about yourself. And so if somebody thinks that your good parts are, you know, I think that you had an assessment of where my good stuff, a basic good assessment of what I was there. But I don't think that the negative sides of me, that you knew how negative those were.
See, I'm not certain that, I don't think that that's true, because...
Did you know that I was jealous and controlling?
I knew that you were controlling. I knew that you were controlling for sure.
How long did you know that?
Day 3, when I met you. I mean, it's not...
Oh, really?
Well, I'm always on guard for controlling people because of the way I grew up.
Right.
So that's something that yeah, of course. The way you did theology your entire life, like I didn't perceive that as some like horrible, terrible, sinful character flaw. Like, I don't think that that's a massive character flaw. Our issues have always been about communication ultimately. Like that's been a thing when we first got married.
Why do you think we have communication issues? Because I have a control issue.
Yeah, I don't think that that's... No, I think that a lot of that has to do with how you were raised and how you were socialized to look at conflicts within a marriage. You were socialized to look at conflict in marriage as if it's horrible and terrible. That's why there's some disagreements I am good with having in front of the kids. Because, especially if we're doing a good job and we're saying, well, this is my problem. And you say, well, this is my problem. I say, well, this is what... Like... I'm glad that we have that type of conversation in front of the kids, because they have to see healthy married couples. Yeah, they disagree and they you know, and
I agree with that.
And they go back and forth, and that's just how it goes. It doesn't mean that anybody's bad or good or whatever. But yeah, like I think I had a pretty decent assessment of who you were. The issue though that you're not seeing is that there's how you were before, and then there's you in the divorce, and then there's you being married, and those are not the same people in the same circumstances. And I think what happens is that when you that was the biggest crisis you've ever had in your life, right? And honestly, to me, it was a Tuesday afternoon. You know, I mean, it's like,
yeah,
you know, a divorce. Oh, people are talking shit after a divorce. Oh, Like, that's... But you lived in such a cloistered and sheltered environment that it was massively... And that was one of the issues with me, is it took me time to catch up because, you know, it's all the stub toe thing. I'm like, oh, this is... And you're just going, rah! And I'm just like, whoa. You know what I'm saying? Then we're blending a family, and then we're doing this YouTube thing, and now, you know... It was kind of weird because we were kind of local celebrities already. Like, we couldn't go anywhere. People knew who we were.
Right.
So then we got out of that whole situation. We started a channel, and now more people know who we are than before. And both of us are like, love our privacy and stuff. So like, there was just a lot of shit going on. Like, I think I perceived you accurately. That's my opinion. Like, I don't feel like the story I knew before and after are like completely different people. The person that I met at the Bible study is very, very different from now, for sure. But I knew I wasn't marrying the person I met at the Bible study. I was marrying the person that had been through all that bullshit. So, that's my take on it. I mean, I don't, you know. Or do you not interpret our history that way, or what?
Right. I think because I think that, you know how I'm always about like ideal versions. So I think I wanted to give you what I felt was my ideal version, which was the Bible study me.
Yeah.
And so I think that I like kind
of
deluded myself to think that's what I was giving you, and it's not. It's not like that.
Well, but that's a lot of times people. That's why marriages don't last, because they were marrying a version of a person and not the person. And so, you know, people say all types of, you know, craziness when they get into a conflict. But it's like, oh, that means you love that version. That doesn't mean you love that person.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, everybody's got their favorite, you know, kind of car or whatever, make, model, build. So you have a certain type of person or version of a person, a personal prototype that you like. And that's relationship-wise, people don't understand. There's a difference between a prototype and a person. So, like, and the dating sites and all the rest of it, like, make it impossible for you not to think in those categories. So a prototype is, what do you want? I want somebody that's this height, this weight, this hair color. They got to believe these and these things. And it's like, okay. And it's like, but these 6 things are not going to remain static in 20 years. The height's going to change, right? The weight's going to change. The hair color is going to change. The hair itself is going to change. The political position may change. Look how much we've evolved politically just being in the channel. So the person that you met at the Bible study is also not the same me. So definitely not the same me, because that's when I just started the other thing. Wow. You know, I was taking trips and shit. So, like, people love a version of a person, not the person. So marriage is where you get to actually, it's where God kind of says, okay, like, cut the bullshit. You really love this person? Okay, let's see it. Right? So then it's like, you first with the person, there's a certain, they're the prototypical version of what you wanted, and you presented the prototypical version of what you thought they wanted. And so now you married, and you don't realize that the whole point of marriage is to be able to find a way to love a single person through all the various iterations of the versions of who they are to becoming what they become. That's what marriage is. But what happens is the person goes, holy shit, that's not the prototype I ordered, and then they're out. And to me, that's, on the one hand, you say that's a low character thing to do, but on the other hand, it's you're robbing yourself of an amazing person, because what attracted me to you or whatever is the seed of who you are inside. It's not the specific version of the person. But that only gets exposed in the midst of conflict and all those things and all the rest of it. So yeah, that's what it looks like to me anyway.
Word. Well, there you have it, you guys. Look for somebody that can be like that and be that type of person.
I think a lot of dudes are like that. I don't think that I'm a particularly special person on this regard, but this relationship I don't think is going to make it. I will never win with you. That's not going to work.
I hate you. I still do.
I hate you. I still do.
Every time you let me go.
Yeah, and that's supposed to be, that's an inversion, right? I love you. I still do. Every time you hold me close, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. Holy shit.
Oh, whoa. Maybe if you're right and he's in a band and he says, I hate you, I still do, every time you let me go.
Yeah.
So it's he feels that she's giving him
the constriction.
She's giving him permission to be.
But she's not crazy. If your boyfriend's a rock star, he's in his 20s, it's over. Break up with him. It's over. Or do the Kevin Samuel thing and just expect that he's being a rock star. I don't know how else to say it. So there's that. I really, really like this one. I'm a new metal guy, man. I love it. I love the new metal shit. And one of the things that's a weakness of new metal actually is the fact that there were so many bands out during that era, and I'm finding that I'm missing a lot of really good bands, which is one of the reasons I'm such a fan of these DJ streams, is because you get some, like, there was that song, they're not a new metal band, but the Hush song from Hell Yeah. I was just listening to that a couple of nights ago. I was like, holy shit, this is a really good song. I forgot how good this song was. So shout out to all of you DJs out there and you Ronins. We're going to shoot a video pretty soon about Ronins and DJ streams and all the rest of it. Yes, Kevin Samuels, Amber. Amber's a boss. We got to sit down and have a chat with her one day. Subhanallah.
We have a couple chats that we need to
Yeah.
Yeah, this song was fun. It was hot. It was like moving, I really liked it. And obviously it's got that new metal-y sound to it, which I think I'm like, I never want to just like accept something. Like sometimes I kind of think that you kind of get the short end a little bit, because once you say that you like something, I want to be like, well, hold on. I don't know if I do. You know what I mean? You are like that.
So
I'm like but I feel like I'm like, shoot, I think I do. I think I like the new metal. You know what I mean? So anyway, so that's super cool. I don't envy these people's relationship, but I am actually going to give the song a 10.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a 10. It's new metal, man. Mm-hmm. Shout out to new metal. All right, there you go.
I'll tell you what, I love this stream, and I feel like that if the Lone Rider lived close by us, there'd be some nights where I'd be like, hey, call him up so we can just listen to a bunch of his playlists.
Oh yeah. Oh, 100%. Why don't you live next to us, you bitch?
I don't know. Maybe he's a weird stalker, so we should be glad he's a distance away.
Nah. Nobody in the village is a weird stalker. Shout out to Padge. Shout out to Padge.
See how he looked at me?
Look at Phil. What? A 10? Shut up, Phil. Nobody asked you any questions. Sorry, I've seen you doing the devil horn sign. Do you realize that it means hail Satan?
It means whatever I want it to mean.
It means Vin out.
Sorry, out.
Gone. I'm not gonna have that argument. Holy moly. We got one more song, guys. One more song. Unmas. It's a Sevendust song. We're gonna put that clock up there for 2 minutes. Mm-hmm. It's so funny how you respond to religious people. It just depends on the day with you, huh? Mm-hmm. You and Head are terrible at that, man. Remember, he's like, I don't.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I try to listen to what they say.
That's right.
He's like, fuck him.
Yeah.
Shout out to the homie. Shout out to the. I mean, it's a little bit different with us. Like, it happens like once or twice a week. With him, it's probably like 600 or 700 times a day. You know what I'm saying? So.
Mm-hmm. Right.
1 minute and 30 seconds left, ladies and gents.
Babe, doesn't it look like we're like in some tunnel or something? Look at this.
Please answer before Sevendust starts. Is there a question? You doing a song? Yeah. Hey, bro. Oh, here it is. Okay, let's see. What does this look like? Does it appear from Judith to 10,000 Days that Maynard may be more open to Christianity? If you met him, would you witness to him? I love him and I don't want to see him die without Christ. I saw a video of Maynard when he was talking about God being love and all the rest of it. I agree with you. It doesn't appear that Maynard is hostile to God per se. I do think that he is hostile to his experience of his mother's experience. And I think that was massively damaging to him and very hurtful for him. There's a lot of things he couldn't understand about God and etc. in the context of the Christians that were representing Christ to him during that really difficult time in his life. So yeah, I definitely see that. As far as what I witnessed to him if I saw him, that's for me it's a game time decision. I think praying for somebody is just as effective as opening your mouth and witnessing to them, right? So like witnessing is when we talk to men about God, and prayer is when we talk to God about men. And so I think the Lord said to me one time too, because I was hardcore, and there were specific people I was praying for. I mean, I was thinking about, and it was in my prayer time. But the Lord told me, like, Vin, you're out there, you're doing the shit, man. Just I need you to talk to me about Shamarki though. You talk to me about him. Mm-hmm. So whether or not I start witnessing to people or sharing my faith is really a in the moment Holy Spirit type situation. I don't believe that the fate of my friends is in my hands, and if I don't witness to them, they're gonna die and go to hell. Like I don't believe that, but I do believe I have an obligation. Look, anybody. This is not just Christians. I mean, this is just basic to anybody. Anybody, if you truly believe that you have something that will benefit your friends, or you have something that will save them from, pain, sorrow, whatever, if you're a good friend, you're going to share that at some point. Mm-hmm. So to me, I just look at it as how can I be the best friend possible to everybody around in that specific moment? So somebody might need a hug. Somebody might need a sandwich. Somebody might need a 55-minute God conversation. It just depends on what the person needs in that moment. And then the other part of it is
sometimes what they don't need is for somebody, they have an expectation that a Christian is going to push something onto them. And then when that doesn't happen, that's kind of the gateway that you get to be able to actually have conversations. There's lots of people that watch our channel and they tell us that all the time. That they were drawn to the channel because it was the first time that they saw Christians that didn't shove it down their throat like it had been done before. So, a lot of times the reason why you say or don't say or do or don't do, if it's motivated by cowardice or fear, obviously that's no good. But if you, like Vin said, you have a prayer and you're going forward and you're open and willing to talk to the person and ready if that's the way the direction goes or not, like we've had lots of different conversations, and sometimes you have a conversation with someone and then 2 years later you have another conversation and that's actually the one where it gets,
Yeah, no, sorry, yeah, no, that's perfect. And like the other thing is, obviously Jesus is my example. So Jesus is at a party. Mary shows up and says, she says, "Ya Rasulullah, we there's no wine." Mm-hmm. And this is before Rasulullah made it Hummer, Ya Muslimin, so don't worry. So she goes up to Jesus and says, "They have no wine." Jesus says, "What does that have to do with me? Or you? Leave it, Mom." And Mary says, "No, I'm not going to leave it." So she goes to the guys and says, "Do whatever he tells you to do." So now these people go to Jesus and say, "Hey, your mom said I was supposed to do whatever." So now what is Jesus going to do? He has no choice. So he turns the water into wine. And then he tells his disciples, don't tell anybody anything. Mm-hmm. Jesus' purpose at that party was only to bless those people with wine. That was why he was there. And he got him the wine and he said, okay, now that we got him the wine, we're good. He didn't preach. There's nothing in the text about him preaching to people. He was just at the party, and I'm sure he had the wine because we see in Genesis 1 that when God makes something, he goes, that was very good. Mm-hmm. God enjoys the shit that he creates. Well, the wine that he creates. So Jesus out there drinking, partying, having fun with everybody. And then when it was time to go home, he's like, all right, niggas, I'm out. Mm-hmm. I'll check y'all later. Mm-hmm. Peace out. He was a regular person. Yeah, where there were some times when Jesus laid it out and said, you snakes, you brood of vipers, blah, 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 religion. Of course. But I want to be the type of person that people like, yo, we're drinking, it's going to be lit. Yo, let's bring Finn, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. I want to be that type of person. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's crazy because those kids that died in the car accident,
they were inviting you.
I was that type of person. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But obviously, So, like, that's how to answer that question. It's a very important question. It's a complex question. I get it. I'm just trying as best as I possibly can to like really listen to God actively in my like moment by moment life. There are a lot of times on this stream where somebody will say something or whatever, and God will be like, "Leave it." And so I'm so glad we have people like Ben and stuff in the forum. God will be like, "Just leave it." And there's other times when I'll give you guys an example. So somebody asked about suicide. I generally always ignore those questions, and if I do answer the question, I'll say, "Hey Joe, send me an email. I'll get back to you in 48 hours."
It's literally been publicly avoiding that for literally years.
3 years.
Yep.
Right? And then this time, the Lord was just like, "Nope, it's go time. Answer the question." So somebody's going to use that. They're not going to kill themselves. They're going to be with us when this is all over. It's just, that's how it goes. Okay, I spent way too long on the explanation, but that's kind of where I am. Yeah, and Lee, you've got it. I love Jesus so much because he never forced anyone to think he was a Messiah. He lived his life and accepted people who he saw, like Peter. Yeah, that's the name of the game. Just love your friends, right? Love your friends the best you possibly can. And if you do that, then you'll never fail. And sometimes loving your friend is telling them something they don't want to hear.
Facts.
So, all right, guys. Went a little bit over on the clock, but we've got one more for you. We shall return. Sevendust. I'm Ben.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sorry says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at sorry@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is a community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/BenandSorry. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sorry and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 here and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed.
Merch.
Because if you do, you, dear listener, will be the first person to watch our George Harrison, John Lennon interview. We will send you a special link for that. That interview is coming very, very soon.
We're Christians. We made it happen in a very strange way.
Doc, Jambi, you
are hilarious.
You I got your text. It seems pretty serious, and I don't want to halftime do this and then look at it because I feel like that's disrespectful to you. So I got your text. I'll review it soon.
I don't know what the text was. I was laughing at your comment.
Yeah, she hasn't seen the text, but you said don't show anybody. So, all right.
Okay.
Sevendust skeleton song.
Okay, so he said
with my buddy and then my friend, and then after that we go.
So obviously I had to choose my favorite band, and this is such a great, beautiful song that I listen to a lot. And like one of the lyrics says, "I lose myself in a song again, as I hope we all have enjoyed doing so tonight."
All right.
Here we go.
Skeleton song for DJ
last song.
freaking.
I'm glad you went with 5 songs instead of 4.
The Lone Rider Tony. There you go. If you're in regular YouTube land, sit back and enjoy the show. Skeleton song, Sevendust, let's go. Uh-oh. Ballad time. Ballad time.
I'll stay right here with all these familiar faces and shut out everyone else from the world we created. Instead of becoming the sick and twisted, I lose myself in a song again. And there's nothing wrong in being far from right. Another skeleton stuck in my head all night. And there's something when everything goes right. Another skeleton will save my life tonight. Was it that hard to open the door to faith when everyone feels the same? A different face but on the same page. And I don't need something that hurts more than nothing. So I lose myself in a song again. And there's nothing wrong in being far from right. Another skeleton stuck in my head all night. And there's something when everything goes right. Another skeleton will save my life tonight. So I try my best to see how you can relate to so much grief. Never stop forgetting why you came to be here. Everybody seems to be crying themselves to sleep. Wake up for me and find another place to go. And there's nothing wrong in being far from right. Another skeleton stuck in my head all night. And there's something when everything goes right. Another skeleton will save my life tonight. And there's nothing in being far from right. Another skeleton stuck in my head all night. And there's something when everything goes right. Another skeleton will save my life tonight.
This kid, this freaking DJ, man. DJ Tony the Lone Rider. Holy moly. He just, every freaking song, whether you know the band or not, or you're familiar, every song's a banger. They're all deep and shit. Holy shit, Tony. Deep dude, bro. Good night, you two. Salam alaikum, Lee Moore. We'll talk again for sure, inshallah. Okay, what'd you think the song was about? You were vibing. LeJohn's voice is just sweet and creamy as hell, bro.
Yes. Wow. This one was crazy because it kind of brought you to a place that kind of felt kind of safe, but at the same time, you know, it sounded like he was singing about when you're having like a whatever type of night, whether you're alone or you're whatever, that there's a song that kind of gets you through the night. And when he called it a skeleton song, I wasn't sure if it was a song by an artist that had passed away, but they had like a song that was like still something that was like, maybe because of their struggle, it made their song so much more meaningful. Or if he's talking about why he called it a skeleton song, I'm a little confused about. I don't know if it means like when the song is live and the feeling is full, but then there's a song that has been recorded and then it's like there, we can still access it, but it's not actually happening. And so I really don't know. I've never heard the phrase before of a skeleton song, but I understood the meaning that you have a song that kind of, and you've had that happen multiple times where you're having some horrible night and like you get introduced to this song and then the song is something that kind of helps get you through. It's happened to you a lot.
Yep.
And not like Christian songs either. So
Yep.
anyway.
Yeah, they're almost never Christian songs. Although Worship Mob, shout out to Worship Mob. You guys should check them out. They do a really good job.
Mm-hmm.
They
But
do
it was
long form renditions of corny Christian song and turn it into something really deep.
Yeah, something really beautiful.
And you guys have heard we talked about prayer meetings and stuff like that, and how crazy that is. I'll send you I'll put a Worship Mob video to you guys in the
in the link.
in the
chat?
link, and you can see, because if you watch that video, that's pretty much what it was like, and it was it was so amazing. Okay, continue.
So he says, I'll lose myself in a song tonight, and I definitely it's very interesting to say I'll lose myself in a song tonight in a song that I'm losing myself in.
Right.
And it's tonight.
Right.
So
right.
it's kind of interesting, but anyway, yeah, so what does skeleton song mean?
Yeah, I just think it's a song, it's a death song. And the irony is the death song
is what
keeps
him alive.
Yeah. I'll say right here with all these familiar faces and shout out everyone else in the world we created. So it's a relationship song.
I just gotta say, the Lone Rider, if you are single, you should put that out there. You have a great song list and great taste, and I think you may find someone on the channel.
Holy smokes. Do you have a beat on someone?
No, it's just, he's got a good list,
Amy Lee is already spoken for. So
I wasn't speaking for I wasn't saying Amy Lee. I was just saying that.
No, I'm saying like we've already made a couple love connections in the villages. This is like me and you in verse 1, right? We'll shut out everyone from the world we created. Like that's my philosophy. And I'm not certain how healthy that is, but that's how I roll. What?
Wow. Just, we've had like, there are there's moments that you can have and not realize that it was a moment until it's far gone from you.
Right.
And you're like, yo, that was a moment. But that's one thing that's been super significant, I think, about our relationship is we've had a lot of moments, and I've known they were moments when they were moments.
Right. Yes.
And I'm sure that I've missed a lot of moments too, but there's been a ton that I'm like, we're in a moment.
Yep. Yep. No, I completely agree with that. And, like that's a big... I was talking to somebody like, you and Sori are just in your own little world and nobody else matters and nobody cares. You don't care about anybody but you and Sori, blah, blah, blah. Which is, of course, not true. But I was very honored by the fact that was that person's perception of my relationship to Sori. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that there's a sense in which there's some truth to it and then a sense in which it's not true. You know what I mean? Like, we have our thing, and nobody's getting into our thing. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's us. But at the same time, we do have other people.
Yeah, we do that though. We we're pretty quick to be like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think it's a flaw. That's just what it is at this point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong in being far from right. Another skeleton song stuck in my head all night. There's something and there's something wrong when everything goes right.
Yeah.
So he's just saying, so it's him and this girl, and he's like, people can say what they want about us because I'm.
Oh, wait a minute. This is a relationship song? You said that at the beginning, but I never got that it was a relationship song.
And shut out everyone else in the world that we created.
Yeah, but besides that, does it say anything more? I literally pictured this person completely by themselves.
Yeah.
Through this whole song.
I mean, it starts out in stanza 1 as a.
Yeah.
So it looks like they're being judged for being that kind of a couple.
Maybe.
Shut out everybody else in the world we created. And the chorus is him saying, so what? Like, nobody's perfect, and I'm okay. I'm at peace with your judgments. Like,
yeah.
And the thing is, anytime you're really in a relationship where it's really...
Oh, were you doing that bad guy? I'm at peace with it.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to my man Skeletor. Everyone thinks you're an asshole. I am at peace with this.
He's sitting in his big chair. Okay, anyway. So, how you put it, we put it on these videos. Like, this is probably like the 4th time, but it's such a great... it's so great. Oh, I have to show you something. I saved a couple things to show you later. Yeah, I kind of like the part too. And there's nothing wrong in being far from right. That is a very relaxing phrase to me because I'm the type of person where I want everything to be right and I don't want there to be anything wrong. And so, I think that if this is a relationship song, you have to accept the fact that there will be times in your relationship that it's going to feel like nothing's right. Or, you know what I mean? Like, it's not going to be perfect all the time. And, you know, as you go through your cycles and your phases with each other, you're going to hit those points. And so it kind of like is like, oh, okay, there's nothing wrong in being far from right. I think that if you have a mindset that you're not going to stay far from right, but that you are on a journey to get back to right. And then when he says, and there's something wrong when everything goes right, you know, there was this, it's a joke, but it's still funny.
What?
I think it's this one. No. Okay, you can read your thing and then I'll read mine when I pull it up.
Well, I was just looking at verse 2.
Yeah, go ahead.
And it says, was it too hard to open the door of faith when everyone feels the same? A different face, but on the same page. Now look at this line right here. This line might be, Amy says, no scuba line to Ben. No shit, Sherlock.
Yeah.
This next line might be the most intelligent line I've seen in 2021.
Yeah,
thus
what
far.
is it? What is it?
He says, I don't need something that hurts more than
Oh,
nothing.
I know. That one stuck out to me as well.
I don't need anything that's going to hurt me more than nothing. So he says, so I think the next line is about faith and how, you know, Christianity has these judgments about certain kinds of relationships, things of that nature. Mm-hmm. Was it too hard to open the door to faith? I think he's saying, no, it wasn't hard to open the door. The problem is when I open the door, you guys tried to come in my house and destroy everything. So now I'm closing the door. I'm going to go back to my music. That's how I interpreted verse 2 in Shalom. Did you have anything else in that?
Well, I couldn't find that thing that I was trying to show you, but well, I actually didn't hear your explanation of I don't need something that hurts more than nothing.
I think he's talking about religion.
Other people? Oh, religion?
Yeah.
But I think
it's too hard to open the door of faith. So I assumed that was religion. Go ahead.
I think that could be for anything. Relationships, whatever, you know what I mean? Like
100%.
Nothing is
100%.
It's painful to be alone, but sometimes, holy shit, the relationship is so bad that you're better off alone.
Yeah.
You know, you have to know when it's time to quit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I agree.
If a relationship is abusive and things are not changing and the person is not seeking out help and it's just the same, that's kind of one thing that I'm focusing on at this stage in my life is patterns. So instead of looking at individual things, like one of the kids was like, she was like, oh, I forgot my money, but can I use your money to buy some soda for my brother? And I said,
brilliant.
I said, sure. So she bought 2 of them. That was kind of weird, but whatever. She was like, I'm buying 2 because I think he's going to drink all of his soda quickly. And then later on, she was like, what would you do if, well, I caught her in the fridge drinking some of it. I was like, what are you doing? And then she's like, I'm just taking a sip. She's like, what if I would have bought it and I would have been tricking you that I was just doing that so I could actually get the soda for myself? Because I knew if I asked, you'd say I would have had to have my money. But since I used my brother as like a foil, I figured you'd fall for, you know what I mean? That's basically what she's saying. And I said, no, I don't expect that that's what you were doing because that doesn't follow your pattern of behavior. So I'm really trying to like pull back when I'm dealing with people and myself. And it gives you a bigger and a fuller understanding of people because sometimes people do something and you're like, I can't believe they just did that. But then you pull back and you're like, wait a minute, they've literally never done something like that before. So maybe I'm seeing this incorrectly because there's a lot of talks. I've been looking at those talks that talk about the mind and how the mind will interpret things according to what they want, what you want to see or what you want to hear. And so you have to be conscious of the fact that your mind is looking to interpret things according to your own wants and desires. So how can you actually ascertain truth? And that's by patterns is, I think, a helpful thing because it might not fit your narrative or it might not be the thing that you want it to be. And so in that case, you look at the pattern and you say, well, this is so.
Yeah. No, I agree. His voice is just, man.
Butter.
Again, like, I wasn't a Sevendust fan. I've never really been a Sevendust fan. I really didn't like that band, to be honest with you. I was
really?
I liked Denial, and then, I bought that record, and I didn't really like it. The name of their first record was called Home, and I don't know. Maybe I was too much in my corn shit or whatever. They didn't do it for me. But now, listen, maybe it's because I didn't have enough life experiences to...
Maybe,
you know what I'm saying?
Maybe.
Because now
I don't know because when we first started listening to Sevendust, I was like, yeah, but I didn't love it as much as I do now.
Right.
But I don't know if it's because Tony picks ones that, like they have that harmony in there that I like that, so I don't know if he's picking the ones that are kind of more geared that way. And that's why I'm liking Sevendust more by the day.
Yeah, no, it really is. Sevendust is an example of us discovering a band from the channel. Right? Mm-hmm. This is another 10 for me. I really, really love this song. Really, really love the song. So it's a 10 for me.
Okay, I have one more thing to say. So when it says when there's something wrong, and there's something wrong when everything goes right. So a lot of times you hear people say that. They'll be like, oh my gosh, everything's going good. That means something bad's going to happen. Mm-hmm. But it's funny because, again, if we're talking about patterns, yes, like life is about good and bad and as you cycle through those things. So you could look at it and say, oh my gosh, everything's going good. That means something bad's going to happen. Or you could say, oh my gosh, everything's going bad. So something good's going to happen.
Right.
But we're so focused. Like for some reason, we feed off the negative more than we do the positive, and we look to the negative more than we do the positive, and we're quick to say, oh boy, here we go. Like, so I think that a lot of stuff is about your perspective and your outlook, and we have to, I think that obviously people go through some super painful things and just things that feel so much bigger than themselves, and I think that those times are harder, and you really need people around you, and you need family, and you need friends and community and stuff. But there are other times where, like we said in that previous song, where you're just going through, you're accepting darkness, and you're accepting, what was the phrase they used in that other song? Dark, the suicide imbecile one. They used a phrase like about like dark patterns of thinking or something like that. So anyway, like I've been really working on that with myself. So that's why it's kind of coming out more in the channel, is because it's on my mind a lot, and trying to be, optimistic about things that don't feel, and it's much healthier anyway. So there's my advice to you. Do the same thing.
Skeleton Song might also be a secret that he's keeping, that he's only now coming out of the closet in the song. You know, they say you got skeletons in your closet?
Yeah.
So maybe he's writing and the specific people know exactly what he's talking about. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And he's basically saying, all right, I'm cleaning out my closet. You know what I'm saying? That's another way of looking at it. It was a 10 for me. What'd you give it?
Oh, it's a 10 for me too.
Holy schmoly! There you are, dear listener. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful all around from start to finish.
Yep.
Another DJ stream in the books. There you are, dear listener. Having said that, Finn out.
Sorry out.
Gone. Holy smoly, DJ.
You know what? Sometimes I'll be like, whenever you're like, hey, I want to do another stream, I'm like, okay, we got to make this happen because I love your song picks. And then it's so funny. You know what he does for a job? Okay, well, I'll tell you later.
I
Anyway.
was gonna say, gonna tell everybody the social security number?
No. So anyway, so it's so funny because I actually did, when I was in college, I actually had to do that type of job that you're doing. And so I'm like, but we weren't allowed to listen to any music. It was a very legalistic place. But anyway, I'm thinking to myself, man, that's so cool that you're able to like listen to music while you're doing that job. And so sometimes, you know, like when we're talking, I'll picture you setting up the stuff and putting the thing down and listening to all your music. And I'm glad that he said that like at his job, like they're not good with his music. And so it's cool. This is the conversation we had, right, Anthony? Or am I like misremembering this? And that, you know, when he's on here, it's cool because he gets to share the songs that he loves with people who actually love the songs too. So there's a whole community and stuff. So it's cool.
There you are, dear listeners. Shout out to the big homie. Really, really, really good job. Holy moly. 4 10s from Vin and Soria and a 3 from Vin. I know,
and 3 from Vin. You gave 3 10s and I gave 4 10s.
Oh, yeah. And then we're going to leave with this gem from Ben Webb. I love him. He's the greatest. The greatest of all time.
Oh, boy.
Having said that, dear listener, Vin out.
Sorry out.
Gone. How long can you keep this pose?